All right, let me do a quick. There we go. That's a little better. All right, Alpha Beta, how's it going? Laughing Panda, how are you doing? Let me start off. There's not a lot of people on right now. I don't know if how many of my mods are on here. Beaten Cheeks, how's it going? I'm going to do something on. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this properly. I can't remember how to do it properly on the other side of there's certain platforms I can't talk about, but I'll try and see if I can make you a mod. Beaten Cheeks over there. D-Daver, how's it going? Good to see you. Alpha Beta, iPhone 17 AI, yeah, yeah. Moment of silence. Yeah, what's up, Ross? How's it going? Again, Beaten. It's really good to see you, man. Thanks for all the support. Okay, I'll try and figure out how to make you a mod over there. I don't even really know how to do that exactly, but let me see if. Oh, you know what? I think I do know how to do it. I think I know how. One sec. If I go over there and then I do this, yeah, it's the channels, yeah, and then and moderation, yeah, moderators. Okay, so shout out to the Beaten Cheeks here. Shout out to the moderators right now. So there you go, Beaten Cheeks. You should now be a moderator. I do suspect that this will be a bit of uh, a rough stream because I will be calling people out quite directly. I just don't give two shits anymore. So it's going to be, it might be rough. Just so you know, the same rules apply today as they did yesterday. If you're disrespectful to the fact that someone has lost their life because of this insanity, there will be zero tolerance. Mods, you have full and free reign to ban whomever you like for any reason you like today. I don't normally do this. I normally just leave it quite open. People can come in and attack me personally if they would like to do that. They can attack my ideas. They can call me an idiot. All of that. Today is an exception to that. I will not be tolerating anything. Twitch Unruffled is on Twitch, on the Twitch side, thus his name. And we did ban him immediately yesterday. But he did not know that what happened to Charlie Kirk happened, and so he was making some jokes without realizing it. He didn't want to be associated with his comments. He made an unban request, and we granted it to him because we think he was genuine. If you are banned because we're going to be ban happy today, and you think it was done, inaccurately, we will respect any unbanned requests. I am on Discord, I'm on X, I'm on everywhere. You can reach out to me or one of the mods, and you can ask to be unbanned if you think it was, unjust. However, today of all days, I will not tolerate any amount of stupidity. I'm sick and tired of the bullshit that has happened in the tech industry, and I'm going to talk about it all. And this absolutely does have to do with what happened with Charlie Kirk. And you might be wondering how. Charlie Kirk didn't really say anything about say much, let's say, about tech and how whether tech was necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. He didn't really speak about that. He talked about many other topics, and you would be right. However, that's not really the issue. The issue is what has happened since his unfortunate demise. 2 children and a wife had to wake up today, and that is if they got any sleep, having to contend with the fact that they are never going to hear his voice again, They are never going to be able to hold his hand again. He is not going to be there when one of them gets married, hopefully both of them, as they grow older, etc., etc. They have completely lost someone in their lives. Why? Because of some person we don't know yet. There's some individual out there that we don't know of yet. We don't have all the details. Nothing is officially confirmed. But some person decided that whatever Charlie Kirk was talking about was not worthy of life, and took it upon themselves, whoever they are, to end that life. The issue, again, is not, at least for this stream, it's not exactly pointing the finger at people who might have been behind the attack itself. But I can absolutely point the finger at people who are using this as a mechanism for ideological push in tech. That is something that I have definitive proof of, and I will show you that on stream today. The tech industry is indeed at war. It's at war for your mind and your soul, and it has been at war for your mind and your soul since very, very early days of tech, if not earlier. The problem in modernity is that tech has made this infinitely worse. So I just want to bring up, we'll just start here. If you don't know about technocracy, I've gone over this. Let me go to here. We'll do this. I've gone over technocracy, which started in the 1930s. And I described how the technocrats in the 1930s were hoping to use machines to implement all the shit that people still want to implement today and have successfully implemented. Universal basic income, AI systems were being talked about in these magazines from the 1930s. Technology being used as a mechanism to overthrow political environments so that you wouldn't need politicians, bureaucracy, governments, anything like that. Cryptocurrency was born out of technocracy. The concept of Trump wanting to take over Greenland, born out of technocracy because Elon Musk's grandfather was a member of the technocratic movement and they believed in this thing. All of this stuff has been playing out before our eyes for a very long time. And whether you like it or not, cybersecurity today, programming today, websites today, obfuscations and abstractions and paradigms and frameworks and all of these things are being used today in order to capture you. Social media is being used as an engagement mechanism because how these people see you in magazines like this, as having been expressed throughout time, is a machine. You are nothing but a machine, just like an animal, just like any other machine. You're a set of inputs and outputs. And technology can therefore be used to input messages into your mind and control you and make you malleable to certain ideas, certain ideologies. That's how this stuff has been used since the early 1930s. And then it only became worse during Operation Paperclip. I went over that post-1940s with a particular group that shall not be named because of terms of service. We went over how they started to implement the idea of cyborgs and transhumanism and a bunch of other stuff that we've talked about on my streams before. But to bring all of this together to how it relates to what happened with Charlie Kirk, we now have a different issue. A different issue has appeared in the form of hate, degeneracy, just all around douchebaggery. What has happened to this programming industry? I want you as a consumer to understand why you're being inundated with ads, subscriptions. You pay for things that you don't own. Steam could take away your game library at any moment. You would not be able to download anything. Netflix can take away all your movies and TV shows that you pay for every month. Spotify can do the same, so on and so forth. The reason why these companies operate this way is because they don't know how to do shit anymore. This tech industry has been captured in the last 20 years by a bunch of soy-sucking beta cucks who do not know how the fuck to handle their own code. So what they've done instead is they've built these complex systems where they hand off their code handling responsibilities like a bunch of fucking cucks. And they go, oh, we'll just appeal to an authority figure who's going to build up systems for us. And the reason why they're able to do that and they're able to pat themselves on the back and circle jerk each other and be whimpering little bitches about what they're doing to you and I as consumers, because I too am a consumer as a programmer. So are you if you're a programmer. The reason why they can excuse this behavior is because they've been fed by feminist, leftist, ideologically fucked up shit like what you're seeing post Charlie Kirk's unnecessary demise. And I'm about to prove it to you in just a few seconds here. What they're doing is they're selling you this idea that tech is a solution to all of these problems that they themselves have created. AI is like this. Social media is like this. Just in general, regular technology like your phones, your TVs now are becoming like this. Fridges are becoming like this. Cars are becoming like this. All of this stuff is being used against you. And people have become too silent for too long. And the worst offenders, in my personal opinion, are fellow programmers who have lost or never had any balls. Not enough of you are standing up and saying something about this shit. And it's left up to people like me who are now jobless. I have no idea if I'm going to be here next month. This might be one of the last times you ever hear this warning from me. But people like me have to stand up and put ourselves on a particular type of, dangerous, risky position in a very different way than Charlie Kirk, but in some ways it overlaps in terms of danger. And when I call out people in the tech industry who are influencers, who are popular streamers, who have thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views, and they talk about all of this shit like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, well, I feel somewhat alone, even though I know I'm not. There's plenty of people in chat who support me. The financial support I've received has been incredible. I appreciate all the financial support, and all the support offline as well. Like, you guys are being very supportive. I do appreciate that. But the time for being nice is now over. It's done. Why? Well, first of all, I have to go after people like the Primeagen, who is the softest, soy-pilled, weak-ass, ballsless, false right-wing, if you want to call that person in the tech industry ever. He has not had an opinion that he's been willing to stick by since the day he started. Theo is probably the most stupid, but at least he's an open book. You can just watch one of Theo's videos and you just know he's an idiot. And then you have fucktards like Pirate Software who absolutely support the side that has done what I'm about to show you post Charlie Kirk's death. These are the kind of people who operate in this space, who manipulate it, who invest in it. They don't give two shits about you. If you think that these people are positive people for the programming space, no, they're not. They don't care about you. They don't care about your success as a programmer. It's all a fucking facade. All of it. All they care about is eyeballs and views. That's it. Primeagen has sold his soul to Cursor. He used to be anti-AI for a long time. Now he can't talk better about Cursor, an AI company. That's just one example. And there's plenty more out there in the tech industry influencer space. We have investors who are bullshitting you. We have other tech influencers who are bullshitting you. We have industry leaders who are bullshitting you. They're all bullshitting you. All of them. And so people like me with dinky little, numbers like myself are left having to talk about how shitty this industry has become because we've seen it. I grew up with it. But you see, the difference between me and them is that I'm not fucking afraid of any of them. I've been homeless before. I've had no money before. I've gone to bed hungry before. I've almost died before several times. So I don't need to bullshit you. And I actually care about your success. Unlike these other motherfuckers. Now, it gets worse because it's not just them. I've been scouring Blue Sky. I've been scouring Mastodon. I've been scouring X, Reddit. You might be surprised where else these pieces of shit have been popping up. Here's one from Blue Sky. Not a programmer, but this is the kind of stuff that you see. I'm not even going to repeat the words. Some of it because I just can't repeat it because of terms of service. Another. And now we get into some programmers who are supporting this shit, who are absolutely disgracing the memory of a man who didn't deserve this kind of, I don't know what you want to call it. DNA Lounge. Now, DNA Lounge is a San Francisco nightclub. You see this motherfucker? This piece of shit? Neck shot. Who is this guy? Do we know who this guy is? Hey, Twitch Unruffled. I'm not paying much attention to chat right now, but Twitch Unruffled, you are welcome back, man. I did apologize. We are going to be ban happy today. But Twitch gets a pass. Twitch Unruffled on the Twitch side, you get a pass, man. You did apologize, and we think that you were very generous. Genuine, I mean. So, yeah. Welcome back, Twitch Unruffled. Yes. So I just want you to know who the fuck this motherfucker is. Shall we find out who this is? Here's DNA Lounge in San Francisco. Okay. You go to the About page. Hi, I'm Jamie Zawinski, proprietor of DNA Lounge. I worked as a programmer before I ran this lounge. I was one of the founders of Netscape and Mozilla and have been involved in the free software and open source community since the mid-80s, sorry. I was the primary developer of Lucid Emacs, now Emacs, and probably wrote most of your screensavers. So hey, Jamie, fuck you. How about that? Fuck you. We have Graham Sutherland here. I can't even read it. If I could have a mod pop in the Rumble link. Actually, let me put it in. Hopefully that shows up. Okay, who's this guy? Who's Graham Sutherland? Who's this piece of shit? Intel Electronics, yada, yada, yada. Lasers and lights. So we have people who are in the tech industry who absolutely love the fact that Charlie Kirk died. How about, who's this? I think David Nielsen here. Or Jonathan Kamens, maybe. Jonathan Kamens right here. Yeah. Who's this piece of shit? If you interpret this post as suggesting that I support violence against fascists and think politicians are cowards if they refuse to acknowledge that the violence has already started and it's about time the non-fascists started shooting back, you're interpreting it correctly. Jonathan Kamens, Director of Information Security at 4D Medical. I work primarily in InfoSec, IT, and SaaS infrastructure. Ex-USDS fired by Doge. This guy. Should we look at more pieces of fucking shit in the tech industry who are ruining the industry that I grew up and loved with, who are fucking you over, who are selling you shit and telling you it's the best shit you've ever had in your life and making you pay for it 3 times over at least, who are taking people's lives either with pew-pew sticks or with the tech industry in general? Should we keep going? How about Danielle Foray? Who's this piece of shit? I'm surprised that the radical woke left is behaving this way because people have been glazing this motherfucker. Founder at Elementary OS, Linux. Yeah, fuck you. How about that? Let's keep going. Curious Gawker. Insane that we're even debating whether it's good to celebrate the death of literally one of the worst people to pollute this planet. Who's this piece of shit? I think I got them out of order and mixed it up. That's fine. How about Tom, who's talking about how happy he is that a particular group of people are now being extinguished from his perspective? Who is Tom? Who's this piece of shit? OS News, very popular online tech journal paper. How about Chris Alamany here? Who's this piece of shit? Dad Husband Tech in BC, in my backyard, Port Alberni. Join socialbc.ca. Oh, and there's more. Now, if you think I'm the only one covering this today, and you think that I'm exposing myself and putting myself in danger, well, you're in for a rude awakening because I'm not the only one. Some extremely big people in the streaming space, including Asmongold, Grums, and several others, are absolutely making videos right now. Videos are being edited as we speak. Streams are being prepared. Asmongold is coming back from taking a break from streaming because his dad is going through pancreatic cancer. He stopped streaming to go be by his father's side, and he has basically said that he's going to come back and he's going to expose people. He will be calling names. He will be pointing to people's job histories. It's already happening. Because if you're going to behave this way, then you're going to get called out for it. So I'm not the only one, which I'm fortunate for, but I am the only one. I am the only streamer who talks about the tech industry in general, who actually lays out how on earth the tech industry got to be where it is today, why these people feel justified in behaving this way, and how it will continue. I am the only one who's doing that. But let's continue for a little bit. Kevin Lyda from Mastodon. History supplies other methods. Who's Kevin here? Just a regular bloke, but a programmer who works on daemon systems on Linux. When behavior has consequences. Who's Carol Herbst? Does anyone know who Carol Herbst is? Leading member of Red Hat Linux. Used to be the Nouveau maintainer, if you know what Nouveau is. STEM Kid. Open source. Yeah, so people in open source are also quite happy about all of this. They're so happy that they got somebody who's this whatever phobic unalived. 4-0 forward. Look at all the open source contributions that this fucktard has made. This is the shit that we have to work with inside of our industry. I already covered this. David Nielsen, acclaimed beta tester of iOS and OS X software, iPad and IA writer, open source, Apple, etc. What does he have to say? Let me go back. Here's what he has to say. These are the people who write the shit that you run on your phones, on your TVs, on your laptops, on your computers. You go to work. Maybe you're a construction worker. Maybe you're a janitor. Maybe you work at McDonald's. And you work really hard to purchase the hardware that you get to bring home so that you can have a little bit of entertainment, so that you can enjoy watching cat videos or watching Netflix or playing video games. And these pieces of shit have been littered across the tech industry, and all they do is spread all of their poorly written, shitty ass code, shoving ideology down your throat, trying to make you believe shit that they want you to believe, taking up as much space and hardware as they possibly can because they somehow think that they already live in a socialist utopia where the shit you purchase is also theirs. So anytime you open up an app or you open up a website or you open up a piece of software on your computer, it uses up the maximum amount of RAM, the maximum amount of hardware space, hard drive space, the maximum amount of bandwidth because they think that they have some right to it simply because you exist. So of course, it's no surprise to me that a huge portion of the tech industry is littered with pieces of shit like this. Who's Catbus? Or sorry, Sir David Nielsen, I guess, because reposting Catbus. Here's another one from reposted by Sir David Nielsen. Benno. We went over her. Elementary OS. Went over Tom. Went over Chris. Let me see who else do I have here. Linux is best. Trump allied Charlie Kirk shot dead at campus event in Utah. Good. Yeah. This guy. Whoever this is. How about David here? Seems to be just a, regular bloke. That's fine. Right? Except he makes texture packs for video games. Video games have been captured. So if you go look up what Grums, we'll look at that in a second. Grums on X, along with Asmon and several others, Ghost of Tetsuya or something, developers of that video game are absolutely just openly stating how much they love to see what they saw yesterday. Yes, I'm cheering on violence against fascists. I spent my entire life watching people spew hate. Yada, yada, yada. Who's next? Ralph Lenz, network engineer at Juniper and Cisco and Fortinet, systems and hosting, VMware. I mean, this guy has worked at a few places. I wonder what he thinks. Charlie Kirk. Fuck around, find out moment. How about Orion, English professor at FDU Vancouver? My backyard again. What does he have to say? Charlie Kirk is likened to a particular person, a particular painter from the 1940s. It's like someone got in a time machine and ended terrible things before they happened. That's what happened yesterday, according to Orion over here. Lorenzo, ARC user, biotech student, etc., etc. He died the way he would have loved. Can't read the rest. How about Fiona here? Oh, fantastic. Fan-fucking-tastic. PhD in cryptography at the Technical University of Eindhoven. Currently looking for a job. What does this individual have to say? Luigi is the hero that we need and deserve. Let's continue. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Chris, from a very popular game dev, kind of a journalist podcast, kind of a thing. Game dev since 97. Look at the kind of things he worked on. Topple, Boomblocks, Medal of Honor, Indiecade, etc., 10 million YouTube views, 100,000 subs, so on and so forth. Vegan, Mask, he, him. What does he have to say? The sleight of hand is they define Americans as the ones who mourn Charlie Kirk and anyone else as un-American. Jonathan Holmes, writer for Nintendo Force, Maximum Utmost. I wonder what he thinks. Reminder of how Charlie Kirk responded after Nancy Pelosi's 82-year-old partner was hit in the head with a hammer after a home invasion. Daniel Malmer, PhD student at UNC Chapel Hill studying online extremism, etc., software developer turned computational social scientist. What does he say down here? He's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. Charlie was among the worst, consistently horrible. He continues. He just continues. I don't even think I can read some of these. Going after... It's Republicans now. Now it's Republicans' fault. Chelsea Bridge worked on Time Machine, Xcode, and Marathon. I'm sure some of you recognize some of these terms. Okay, that's the pin thing, but here, Chelsea over here. Charlie Kirk said trans people were an abomination to God. What thoughts are you sending him exactly, Jay? He deserved it. He deserved it. Right? How about Bree? The idiot that runs Bree Hive on YouTube, computer science undergrad, etc., video editor. Guys, I did not condone those who glorify the deaths of others, which is why I'm glad Mr. Kirk can no longer do so. Fina. Now, Fina here is just a person who just loves video games and superhero comics and so on and so forth. Here's Fina. Reposted by Fina. Reposted by Fina. Reposted by Fina. Or how about this? Reposted by Fina. Right here. When you have that about people who don't have any sympathy at all. Yeah. How about Beatrix over here? What's up, Beatrix? How you doing? Beatrix, software engineer, functional programming enthusiast, JJVCS, Elixir, etc., etc., etc. What does Beatrix have to say? Reposted by Beatrix. We may have hit the breaking point. Because Elizabeth Warren talks about Trump. What about Trump? What about Trump, though? Beatrix, I can't bring myself to be upset about Charlie Kirk. I can't celebrate it either. Hey, that's great. Then again, I was born in the US, so... How about Jared Petty? Narrative design for wizardry. Previous limited run games, Google, Kinda Funny, a company, EA, IGN, host, producer, marketer, video game human, he, him, living with mental illness, personal account, fuck fascism and MAGA enablers, Quaker. Charlie Kirk was a white supremacist, misogynist, and false prophet. He perverted spiritual and ethical teaching for his own enrichment. He lived to debase and hurt others, especially the vulnerable. There is nothing wrong with seeing him for what he was. It's okay to be glad he can't hurt anyone else. And he continued this morning. Here he is, telling stories about games. We're talking about a very prominent video game designer. Chet. I make co-op games like, I don't know, Left 4 Dead, Portal, and now the Anacrysis. Friendly reminder that the right wing takes their own in order to make sales. That's essentially what he's saying here. Continues, radicalizing young men is what Kirk did, and Twitter normalized it. Here's Chet, American video game writer who worked for companies like Valve and Bossa Studios. He was involved in the stories of Half-Life, Portal, and Left 4 Dead. How about Symphony Hardwick, an AI programmer? Guess you could say Charlie Kirk's day was a real turning point. How about Kevin? Kevin's just a regular guy who's involved in other, activist things like that are not necessarily tech, but related to tech. Here's what he had to say. How about Megan Glynn creating user experiences for video games? Neurodivergent, Boston-based. Saying someone is just as bad as their abuser because they're glad he's 404'd is absolutely wild logic. If you're out there telling people this after Kirk's death, you need a spiritual checkup. He deserved it. If someone made it their life's work to make your life shittier because of your immutable qualities, etc., etc., he deserved it. Don't mourn the death of people who would have celebrated yours. How timely. Here she is, some of her work. Hearthstone, Marvel Puzzle, and some other game I didn't know about. Resume. She just has it public, by the way. This is all public, so I'm not showing you anything private. This is all public stuff that they are publicly posting. Sophia. Just have a look at that. Carolyn Petit, an editor for GameSpot for 4 years. She's now a freelancer covering video games. She lives in Berkeley. Reposted. Carolyn Petit. Kirk espoused violent white supremacy and misogyny. Just CJ, co-host of Three Black Geeks, podcaster, gamer, computer tech, movie critic, everyday guy. It's about reaping what you sow. Now we have Hacker News. So I just want you to understand what I'm showing you here. These are the people who are generating the AI systems, the code, the cybersecurity shit, all the shit that you run. And the reason why I've been streaming about this for the last 2 years is because I've been kindly and very peacefully talking about this in a very tempered manner. And what you're witnessing right now before you is a very untempered manner because I've had it up to fucking here. I'm sick of this shit. This industry is being ruined by motherfuckers like this. And I'm tired of it. The time for being nice and cordial and kind, it's over. I'm not going to pretend like I have to be kind to these motherfuckers. They are weak-ass, soy-pilled pieces of shit who think that they get to have a nice little safe space behind a screen with code. No, you don't. It's time to wake up to reality. And the reality is that, first of all, you fucked over programming because you don't know how to program in the first place. That's why you code cuck with third-party systems and abstractions and all of this shit that you need in order to pretend like you're a real programmer. A vast majority of you, I'm sorry, are not real programmers. And unfortunately for you, it's because you were lied to by people who should have told you better, but didn't. And so now you think you're programmers and you're not. You're just useful tools. And there's plenty of you out there I know who are watching right now who are far more intelligent than this. And I'm asking you to wake the fuck up before it's too late because we are this close to it being too late. What do you think AI is? AI is the ultimate mechanism by which you stop learning anything and by which most people are captured by everything. And we're already seeing this play out. You're already seeing stuff where pictures are being presented about the potential perpetrator of what happened to Charlie Kirk, and they're AI-generated images, and they are meant to stir the pot. That's why I've been covering cybersecurity news, because we have nation-state actors. For example, did you know that Tencent owns at least 9.9% of Reddit? Where do you think you're going to find a whole bunch of scum and degeneracy and villainy about what happened to Charlie Kirk today? You're going to find it on Reddit. You're going to find it on things like Blue Sky and Mastodon, as I've shown you, and I'm about to show you even more. You're going to even find it on places like Hacker News, as I'm about to show you. All of these places exist to stir the pot for you, to get you riled up, to get you to believe shit that's not true, to make it so that you can't tell the difference from reality and not reality. Because that's how these people think. They've completely let go of any objective view of what reality is. And programmers did this a long time ago. They did it because they've neglected to understand what the fuck is going on when they're executing code on a piece of hardware. It's so simple. It's the simplest thing. And we have supposed leaders in tech who are turning what's supposed to be a rigorous field into an entertainment industry. Like this. It's just become entertainment. talking about cybersecurity issues in this fashion. It's just entertainment. That's it. There's no rigor anymore. It's all feelings. Vibes-based programming was here in the early 2000s. Venture capitalists invested based on vibes. Companies did everything based on vibes. All of this shit is based on vibes. And I've gone over this over the last 2 years. How it plays out in code. You're no longer allowed to use terms like blacklist or master. You're no longer allowed to use terms like, what was it? I think it was like abort. There's another one. It's the Unity or the Unreal Engine guidelines or something like that. Rust operates the same way. The Safe Trans scientific paper, where the Rust community feels like C is held up by a bunch of gatekeeping graybeards who are part of a patriarchy and they want to undo them. Open source has been taken over and turned into something that's not what it was originally intended to be. Open source has been a fantastic place to get all kinds of stuff, including Linux, and now has just become a socialist, communist utopia. It's all been fucked over by these fucking morons. And they infect the very nature, the code that you run. That's why you see them shipping stories and TV shows and movies and in video games that ruin it. That's why you see video games who are that are 120 gigabytes in size. For what? You would think Hacker News. I haven't seen anyone cover this yet, but on Hacker News, it's no different. Hacker News used to be this place where you could just go and talk about nerdy stuff, about programming stuff. I've had to take screenshots in case people take down their stuff because particularly in Blue Sky, they're warning people that if they, cheer on the death of Charlie Kirk, there are consequences. And I don't know if Hacker News is going to do that. So I've been taking screenshots, but you can see Republicans do not engage in liberal discourse. They engage in propaganda. Begging you to say something nice about Charlie Kirk is propaganda. Fellow programmer in my industry. Oh, how proud I am of my industry. I love how one of the flagged responses was how saying Kirk's 404 was on the left, providing a perfect example of the propaganda lies you mentioned. Exactly. They're casting an identity and motivation on an, as of right now, unknown suspect. They have weird statements about college campuses talking about stuff that I cannot say because of terms of service. What do you think tyranny looks like with regards to the Second Amendment? People are going to defend themselves. That means people are going to see other people as enemies and they're going to exercise their Second Amendment rights. What did you think was going to happen? Fellow programmer in my industry. Quoting Charlie Kirk, as if Charlie Kirk was somehow making a statement here that made this kind of action okay. Fellow programmer in my industry. Amazing how much empathy people are showing for a man who declared empathy to be a disease. Fellow programmer in my industry. I have disdain for the crowd that says we do not understand the consequences of what we are building, but builds it anyways. This I can agree with. Social media, AI, all of the current programming paradigms that exist in today's day and age, absolutely, that's what's happening. People are being targeted because they're treated as an existential threat. Charlie Kirk was a white Christian nationalist. There needs to be less of them in this world. And we went over that already. And it's not over. It only continues. I'll just quickly show you just how long this Hacker News thread is. And there are plenty of people who are in my industry who agree and cheer with the death of a husband and father. And they think it's okay because of his beliefs. And these people are leaders in tech, they're influencers, they are programmers like myself, they are venture capitalists, they're executives, they're managers, they're people that you might have to go to work with and code along with and have to worry about what you say and how you say it. You have to be concerned. Well, guess what? Guess what, you pieces of shit? You scum of the earth. What are you going to take from me? My job? I don't have that. I don't have a job. You going to make fun of me? Go ahead. But I'm sick and tired of biting my tongue so that I can be nice to what is supposedly a small group of people who want to be nice to all of these programmers because there's so few of us. And we don't want to be mean and toxic and scare people away from the industry. No, today I do. You don't belong here if this is what you think. Because like it or not, programming is not about political ideology. And if the right ever dares to use my industry as a weapon to wield against others, I will call them out in the same way. If they dare to wield it in a way that is, as disrespectful as this, let's put it that way. I have no problem calling out both sides, and I have before, and I will continue to do so. Programming is about a very basic concept. You talk to a machine, you instruct it, and the machine carries out your instructions as efficiently, securely, and quickly as it possibly can. That's it. It does not care about your political ideology. It does not care about whether you identify as anything. It does not care where you live. It does not care about your name or lack thereof. It does not care about your seniority or lack thereof. It does not care about your age. It does not care about your skin color. It doesn't care about all of these things. But people in this industry have made the industry care about these things to its detriment, to the detriment of people like yourself, who may not be programmers right now, but who are absolutely adversely affected by this. And I want you to understand what's been happening at the very least the last 5 to 10 years, where a majority of tech is captured by leftist ideologues like the ones I just showed. And the reason why they feel so comfortable brazenly talking about this in public and calling people out by name and saying, "You're next," is because this technology is so powerful, it protects them. They get that sense of comfort. And it's in fact so powerful that anybody who goes up against them then gets the pressure, the thumb brought down upon them. Cancellations, debanking, deplatforming, shadow banning, all of it. Again, why I've gone over this on my streams for the last 2 years. Because this isn't just science fiction conspiracy theory. This is played out in scientific papers. This is played out with AI. This is played out with surveys. This is played out with stats. This is played out with anecdotal experiences. This is played out with case studies. This is played out before our very eyes in a variety of different ways. These people control the levers that oppress you when you don't say the things that they like. And if they see you as a threat, they don't have a problem utilizing these tools against you. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, programming and tech are akin to something equivalent to an atomic you-know-what. It can completely and utterly vaporize an entire nation overnight. And that's the power they've wielded. The time to be quiet and be nice and be cordial and try and be friendly and be tolerant of these kinds of views, it's over. And I want to talk in specific right now to people who are watching my stream, and I know there's a few of you who are more on the left, because I saw some comments on Discord, I've seen some comments on X and so forth. There are several of you who I've talked to who actually have a reasonable, sane take, and you would be probably considered like a liberal, progressive lefty. I do not put you in this group of people that I just saw. This group of people are actually giving you a bad name. They're doing a disservice of you. Because they're taking something that you believe in and they're turning it into something it's not. And now you have a bunch of people who are, let's say, on a different side of, let's call it the aisle than you are. And it's going to make it increasingly difficult for them to see you for who you are, which is not this. And I know you're out there because you talked to me yesterday. There were at least two of you that I can think of right off the bat who expressed, remorse, I guess you want to say, or like sadness over what you saw. But people like this, and in particular in the tech industry, which is my domain where I can talk about, they give your stance a bad name and they make it more difficult for you. So I want to ensure that everybody understands that when I talk about the people who I just showed, I don't talk about them in order to, doggy pile on them or dox them or anything like that. There are people much bigger than I who have way bigger audiences that they're going to be worried about today. They do not need to worry about dinky old Spiro like me. A little small time streamer here. But what they do need to be concerned is that at least me, and I hope other people who are watching this right now, have some courage to stop being so quiet about this. Because what's going to happen now, the next steps, is that these people are going to see that there's a backlash because of the way that they, not necessarily because of the way that got Charlie Kirk to the point that got him here, but because of the way that they treated the post hoc effects. And they're going to see that there's backlash. The backlash could be anything. I don't know what it is, but at bare minimum, even if it's nothing else but just this, technology. Because it is the easiest thing for people to reach in order to have to fight an effective battle quickly, easily, globally. It's going to be technology, social media, YouTube. You're going to see the YouTube algorithm change, or there's going to be a battle for it. You're going to see the X algorithm change. There's going to be a battle for it. Even Rumble's going to have some up and downs. I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. There is more than one way to fight a battle like this, and it's not just pew-pew sticks. So what's going to happen now is if now people decide that they're not going to have the balls to say anything, and I'm talking in specific to people who are supposed leaders in tech, which most of them didn't have the balls to say anything beforehand. In fact, they platformed a lot of these morons consistently, even though they claim to be, more conservative or against these ideological values. They still platformed them, and they suckled on the teats so long as the teats gave them the sweet, sweet milk / green money that they really enjoyed, the eyeballs and the viewers. All of these people sold their souls already. I have no hope of anybody stepping up to the plate in terms of tech leadership, except for the people that you least expect. Asmon is probably one of the least people that I expected to step up against this, because he's not really even on the conservative side, is he? He's not really a true conservative. He's some weird mix of something, and even he hates this. And he's coming. And it's going to be a technological battle first. So programmers right now who have been afraid to speak, who have been afraid to say something, if you don't say anything now, then what it means is that the people who are currently in charge of the entirety of the tech industry as a whole, which is mostly leftists, they're going to maintain the upper hand, and this battle will be over before it begins. Now, I've got two options. One option is to go over this paper, the scientific paper, supposedly, which is just a dissertation or an essay by a feminist in the Netherlands who thinks that programming languages should be designed with the feminist ideology or feminist lens first. I could go through that. Right now, we could talk about how this has been a long time coming in terms of the left in particular, but also the right, infecting a space that did not need to be infected this way. It has no place in this space. We could go over that, or I could open things up. So here, I just want you to see. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but I wrote notes. I have a ton of notes. See if I can do this correctly. I have notes on this paper that I've taken. I have tons of notes on this. Tons of notes. I was going to go over it. I've been holding on to this for weeks, if not months. And I'm ready to talk about it if you guys want. Or I can open up the panel. You guys can come on Discord. It will be heavily regulated. You must abide by TOS, even if you are a close friend of mine. If you break TOS, I will unfortunately have to ban you because I don't want to lose my channel. But I know a lot of you are not like that. So if you do want to talk, you can absolutely come up and talk. Just let me know. Yeah, voice call. You can hop on Discord, !Discord if you do want to hop on, and you can we can talk about whatever you guys want. I promise to keep you guys. If you want to just come on and be private, and you just want to be a voice, I can absolutely accommodate that. You don't have to. You don't have to give up your name, personal information, anything like that. You can just hop on and talk about whatever, as long as it is terms of service friendly, as long as it does not encourage violence, because I absolutely personally would abhor that. I know a lot of you will not do that. We have some solid people. But yeah, you can hop on Discord. You can just stay private. I'll keep you off screen. I'll show something else on screen or just put my face on. You can just be a voice and just talk about what you think. We can talk about tech. If you just want to, vent a little bit, we can do that, whatever it is you want to do. Or I can go over the feminist paper here. It's up to you guys. I'll give you guys a few minutes. I hope that you guys understand. I see it. I see you, man. I think that's Tariak, I believe. We'll have Tariak on in a second. Just real quick before I have him on. I hope you guys understand that there is a battle playing out in tech, and it has been playing out for a long time, and that's why I talk about this. And I'm just sick and tired of being, skirting around the edges. I'm done. Because if I stay quiet, there's not going to be a tech industry left to speak of. Like at all. And people are going to get hurt like they have been. People are going to lose their lives as they have. That's what's going to happen. Okay. So give me a second. Here's what I'm going to do. Let me hop on to, we'll go on to the stream room over there. Yeah, thanks, Laugh. If you could make sure, just in case other people want to hop on, we'll start with Tariak over here. If anybody else wants to hop on, you guys are welcome to hop on. If you want to come on and tell me that I'm an idiot, please do. In fact, I encourage it, because that's the whole point, right? The whole point is that people should be able to come on and tell me how dumb I am. And I encourage that. But just keep it terms of service friendly, that's all. I know Tariak well, because he's solid. Just one sec. I just got to do, if I go like this, where is it? it's here, right? Right. And I will open up that, and then I'll move over here, and then we'll open up, so we'll get Discord. I just got to make sure I do this correctly. Just a sec, Teriak. Please hold on. Please hold on. And then I got to go and grab this guy. I'm going to pull Teriak into the stream. All right. So, one sec, Teriak. You're not live yet. Let me just do this. Okay. Try talking now. I should see your levels.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
All right. Okay. I know you're not afraid to put your face up, so I'm gonna pop you out and put you on screen. What's going on? What's good, man? What do you got to say?
Bro, massive shout out for doing this. You know what I mean? Because like, there's not a lot of eyes on this. I actually just sent out a tweet on X as well right now, tagging Asmongold saying, "Bro, this dude is your Hercules. You know what I mean? Get him on."
I appreciate it. I do. And you know what? I'm gonna be shameless about this today of all days. I don't like to shout myself out. I know how dumb I am. I'm an idiot. Let's be honest. I'm a high school dropout and I'm an idiot. I'm pretty stupid. You can ask my wife. She won't tell you because she loves me too much. She's too kind to say it, but I know how dumb I am. But today of all days, I would ask that you follow in Tariak's footsteps. Definitely shout out for me. Go out and say something about what I'm talking about here, because as far as I know, I am indeed the only person who has made these connections and is talking about it in the way that I am. And I would like to get more attention on this. And if I can go on other platforms and talk to other people, please do that. I'm being shameless about this today in particular. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Cheeks, definitely get your ass out. I still haven't seen you done a tweet. Get those fat fingers out and get that tweeting button going, okay? I love them. But the man, the whole instant, like I said, I still haven't slept. You know what I mean? Because I basically like woke up and like as soon as I got on the computer, it's like it fucking played out. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean, barely having morning coffee, all this kind of shit. And it just kind of takes the wind out of your sails. And the reaction that you've seen there, like the videos off it and all this, man, it's crazy to think that like these people, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It wasn't bad enough that the rhetoric at least encouraged, in part, right? Because we don't know who did it yet. So I don't want to jump to the conclusion that this person was encouraged by a particular type of rhetoric. I try and stick to facts here, so I'm going to try and be consistent with that. But you can't deny that there has been a group of people who have absolutely been calling people like Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk himself all kinds of names which are intended to be inflammatory. They are intended to help people to come to the conclusion that people like Charlie Kirk should not exist in this world. And so therefore it's not a hard leap to discern that somebody took this action because that's what they thought, probably encouraged by that kind of messaging. But just to put that little bit of icing on the cake, which is the truly I don't know, like the one step further than this, they cheer it now. It happened. So first of all, it happened, and now they're happy it happened. It's crazy. A Twitch Unruffled, I do not have a press kit, man. I don't have a press kit. I can try and come up with one. But yeah, this is, it's like a bad thing made worse. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Like from the aspect of like if you dehumanize or even just demonize, that's how you get to like Salem witch trials. Do you know what I mean? Like superstition takes over, logic, all this kind of stuff, and things would get crazy, gets out. That's why I've been saying like the trains left the station. It's like how we go from here can be controlled. It can be a controlled demolition, or it can be massive chaos, and like we don't even know what like you can't even address chaos. I know there's chaos theory, all this kind of stuff, but just in terms of the control one, because that's all we can really focus on at the moment. Because what's happened has happened. You know what I mean,
yeah.
Even when you look at South Park, and this is what I'm talking about, like finding the hidden truth in the story. When you look at the most recent episode, and they took down that episode out of respect because they're just like, oh, technically South Park was honoring
Yes.
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. And I believe Charlie Kirk was even like, he thought it was funny. That's what I read. Is that and I remember reading that when the episode came out, that Charlie Kirk
He
responded,
loved
and
it, man.
yeah, and he's like, yeah, I think this is hilarious because
And
he took it like a champ.
but like even when you listen to the likes of Patrice O'Neill, when he talks about like when you're kind of like talking with comedians, it's like you want to kind of like your friends get it the worst in terms of the roasting. Do you know what I mean? So the
Yeah.
people you love the most is the people you kind of say the most fucked up shit to. It sounds a bit fucked up, but I am a leprechaun. You know what I'm saying? So just hear me out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when you look at the most recent episode, they have the joke, Trump is fucking Satan.
Yeah.
And it's like the innuendo is that he's having sex with Satan. Like that's the joke for the running team
Yeah.
throughout the whole thing. But the literal thing is like Trump is fucking Satan. It's like you don't want to worship this guy. And there is that dangerous on the right wing, that dangerous aspect where it's like these people do literally think that he's a god, he's some sort of divine figure. Ha ha ha,
Yes.
like that kind of goofy kind
Yeah.
of thing. Do you know what I mean? He would never do anything wrong, all this kind of shit. He's a businessman. Of course he's done plenty wrong, all the shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But however, in terms of correcting the country where we need to go, he's what you need on the big game, as they say in the geopolitics.
Yeah.
He's the wild card.
Yeah.
He's the unpredictable. You don't know what America's going to do. Hence all the tariffs and leverage, all this kind of shit. But getting back to South Park real quick.
Yeah.
The other aspect to this and how they summoned Trump, notice that they were doing this like fucked up demonic shit and Jesus, like that's not normal. That TikTok shit is not normal.
Yeah. Yeah. On TikTok.
And then
yeah.
notice when they do the ritual, who shows up? Trump.
Yep.
And the thing about Charlie is he was the moderate one, man.
Yeah. Yeah. He was the I had to take a minute just to like process that.
Same here.
He was the guy you wanted to have a debate with. He was the guy, I'm going to be like super charitable, more charitable than I've been this entire stream. He was the guy that you did want to call names and you did want to plaster all kinds of, slanderous and egregious names because he was the guy who was going to take it. And he was still going to meet you where you were. And he was still going to try and talk to you like you were a human being. You needed, the people who hated him the most needed him around the most. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because without him, you're going to have a bunch of people who don't think the way he does. And unfortunately, you're going to find out what kind of people are behind Charlie Kirk. I hope, frankly, I hope that doesn't play out because it's dangerous. It's a dangerous road that I do not want to see happen. But, well, here we are. Here we are. And I just want to steel man the South Park position as well. In particular, the left, for a while now, has known that the culture war, is probably one of the most powerful things that they can use in mass to influence many people. South Park being an example of that.
Cheeks is looking to get on. He's looking for the link. I don't think he has your Discord.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I got you, man. So I'll grab the link as I here, one sec. Okay, so South Park is an example of exactly what I'm describing, which is the culture having an impact on people's, opinions and views, politically and otherwise. And programming, that's why I talk about programming and technology, because they realize it's a mechanism by which they can control the culture, because they can do it by spreading particular messages through video games. They can do it by spreading messages through TV shows, through movies. They can do it by influencing algorithms, what you see and don't see. This has been scientifically proven. For example, Facebook. I'm not just spouting stuff out of my ass. I've gone over the goddamn science. Like, Facebook literally ran a scientific study where they determined that sending particular types of feeds on their Facebook feed actually influenced people's emotions for up to 2 weeks after they saw that kind of like positive or negative, but to the point where they were also, people who saw those kinds of positive or negative things on their feed were also supplementary adding their own positive and negative posts. That's how impactful social media is. But you don't think people know that? They've known it since the early 2010s.
But bro, wait till I fucking tell you. When I found out, I fucking clicked into it, and Jim Bob was reacting. And I clicked into the link, and I'd seen the faraway one initially, and then when I clicked into the close up one, I fucking slowed it down.
Yeah,
it was worse. Whoa, fucking terrible decision.
Yeah,
to say the least.
Yeah,
but this is what I'm saying in terms of moving forward. There's this aspect with those people that are cheering, like, and again, like, I'm not saying this is what I want, this is what should. I'm just saying this is what I think. Well, this is prediction.
Yeah. It's
in that aspect, like, there's no words. Well, the words Charlie was basically represented the logos. He represented the words. He represented like debate. Let's have a dialogue. You might be my enemy, but when communication fails, we're all fucked.
Yeah. When communication fails, we are indeed all fucked. And this is
now they've
go ahead.
Made their decision.
Yeah.
Right. In terms of this, and again, it's like, oh, we don't know the shooter's intentions, but we know the people who are dancing on TikTok.
Yep.
Those people's intention. There is no words. And this is what I'm trying to put in perspective to people, the gravity of the situation that we're in.
Yeah.
At this point in time, words cannot be done to these people. This is like, not to put it bluntly, but in terms of like trying to talk to a dog.
Yep. Yeah.
And again, TOS, so I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know you know. Less spooky. Yeah, the Wayland devs. Wayland is a portion of it's like a rendering mechanism. You can just say like the thing that gives you your Windows on Linux. It's a version of that. Wayland has become captured by a bunch of leftist ideologues to the point where they're silencing conservatives on their forums and whatnot. A lot of bigger streamers than myself have been covering this, which I'm grateful for. But yeah, the tech industry has been captured by that. So Susie, yeah, you're right. Peter Thiel is in bed with all of this. I've covered this a bit. I've gone over the creation of Palantir, where it came from, Curtis Yarvin, how AI in its current form came out of a meeting that the fathers of AI had on a particular island that we cannot say because of terms of service, but some bad things went down on this island. They met on this island, and while they were commiserating over what would happen with AI since they couldn't achieve artificial general intelligence, and again, these were the fathers of AI, they decided that they were going to make AI a question answering machine. And so, that's how it played out today. The technocratic movement, I've covered all that, how it led up with like Elon Musk encouraging Trump to take over Greenland. It's odd that you don't hear Trump talking about that anymore ever since Elon Musk left, right? Things like that. I've covered all of that, Susie. There was somebody else just real quick that I think I wanted to, I can't find him right now. But in any case, okay, so we've got, Teriak, are you good if I bring Beaten Cheeks on, or do you, you can stay on, man. Absolutely stay on and hang out. Okay. All right. Let's bring Beaten Cheeks. I'm going to drag you over, Beaten Cheeks. All right, brother, you're on. How's it going, man?
Yeah, my friend. How you doing? Can you hear me good?
I think we can hear you good. Yeah, you're sounding good.
All right. What's up, Ter?
What's good, bro?
my little Irish friend, and because we are on different platforms, I'm definitely not gonna break your TOS. I know we're on
Yeah.
Rumble, but I'm not. I gotta respect Spyro's
I know
platform.
what you meant.
I
I know,
appreciate
man.
it.
I always have to put that out there. That
I
disclaimer.
appreciate it. I do. I really do.
Yeah.
It's at this point, it's the only amount of reasonable income I make, little as it is. And again, I appreciate all of the support, financial and otherwise. But I do like I'm kind of begging in a way. Please respect TOS, please. That's all I ask.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'll
Yeah.
keep the F words down and my T's down.
Awesome.
And,
Okay.
that stuff. You're
I know
good,
you're
dude.
good for it. I know we've known each other for a long time, Beaten Cheeks, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. You were one of my first boys, you know, from
Yeah.
Crucible back when Crucible just before it started popping off. You and I would talk shit with each other quite often, and we would do
Yeah.
a lot of cybersecurity talks together. So I like that. you
Yeah.
know?
It was
I was like,
good.
yes, this guy's a fucking nerd like me. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is and you're based too. I'm like, this is very rare to hear from a nerd like me.
Right? It's rare. Tell him.
Yeah,
Tell him,
it
Beaten
is rare.
Cheeks.
So and like me, I've been in I was in cybersecurity for almost 20 years. I just got out of it back in March to pursue other business adventures because I was doing a lot of legwork for my own company and I was not getting paid for it. And the thing is, when you work with government contracts,
Yeah.
you have an NDA and certain, limits you can do within your contract, for example, the workload stuff, right? But when people were starting to get let go because of Doge, some of my customers were being let go because they found out they're lazy pieces of shit. But all that work came to me and my employees. And the thing is, I was hired to do like a multi-$100,000 contract, but it was already dead set and signed before all these people were getting let go. And when all that legwork started coming to my people, they couldn't even handle the workload. So I started taking on a lot more legwork than I could handle. And I was like, guys, we need to renegotiate this contract. If not, I'm gonna have to pull out because I was literally was not getting any sleep sometimes. I was doing like 20-hour days on the same salary. I was like, what the fuck kind of like contract do I want? Would anyone want to be on? Right? It's kind of fucked up. So I try to negotiate it, and then believe it or not, I was gonna go. I already had a trip to Mexico for a week planned, like months in advance, and so and then I like the day before I negotiate. I sent my renewal to the people that were in charge of this. Next thing you know, they said, okay, when you get back, we already have something we can talk about. I'm like, no, I don't play that shit. Let's talk about this right now before I go on vacation. You know what they did? They wanted to increase the years, but not the amount of money. I was like, what? I'm already locked in a 4-year contract. Why the fuck would I stay on the same contract for like more years? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, we can give you like what do you call it? Like sort of like a stipend. I can't remember what the wording is. Remember, okay, guys, I'm low IQ with the GED only. I'm not a business, marketer or nothing like that. I did this plainly with AI, by the way, when I did these negotiation, and it worked really well on the previous contract that I was doing. But
Yeah.
this one, I was a little over my head, kind of, but not really, because I know what my worth is, and the people I only had 2 employees under me, and they were extremely smart. One had like a freaking master's in fucking cyber. The other one was like a PhD, candidate, for like coding and shit. And like these, my guys were smart badasses, put it that way. But whenever when I had to let them go, I literally like cleaned out my savings because I had to, lay them off. I'm not gonna fucking just,
Mhm.
not give them anything, right?
Yeah.
That wiped me out. And then on top of that, I just got out of a 2-year lawsuit of slander that
I remember.
man, I'm just gonna say, yeah, no, I just finished my lawsuit. Just finished a fucking few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I won the case,
Good.
but I lost
Right.
at the same time.
Oh,
Yeah, dude, if you ever go against these top 3 big companies, bro, they know how to drain you out. Like, you remember Spyro? Me and you would go back and forth with super chats, hundreds of dollars
Yeah.
back in the day. We would talk shit with each other about that.
Yep.
Bro, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I literally got wiped the fuck out. Like, General Dynamics wiped me out. They knew what the fuck they were doing. Like, and then I was like, dude, I'm just living off my fucking VA retirement and my rentals, which is barely anything.
Yeah.
And I have 2 rentals right now that are empty. So I'm losing more money than I'm making right now.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have good savings, but I have to take care of my mom. I have 3 fucking bitches, dogs, I mean. And dude, that's why I'm getting back on Rumble too, because I was actually making some decent super chat money, not like a lot, like YouTube would, right? You know, but for a Rumble creator, if you guys go to my channel Raw is Law, I have a lot of followers, but I haven't made content in 6-7 months because of the work that I did before, and then on top of that, this lawsuit that I've been locked in on, and I was doing some side gigs, doing some wholesale real estate stuff, but I'm good with that. But I made a lot of money with that, but all that was going towards my lawsuit that I was locked in with.
Right.
So yeah, it
Did
was
you just
like,
turn
hell,
this 5-minute rant into a shameless self plug?
I did, dude. But anyway, let's get
I,
back to
I don't expect any
I
less.
do.
From,
But
I do
okay,
have to
let's get
respect the
back-
capitalism.
Yeah,
I do
that's
have to
true,
respect
yeah.
capitalism. Not gonna lie.
Dude, I love it. I love it, dude. But
Yeah.
I'm not even knocking that shit. But check
Yeah.
this out. What Spyro was talking about is the back end coding that a lot of these influencers don't know that they want to use, right? That to help them out in the algorithm. Like for example, if you go into Grok or even ChatGPT, the most basic of them, if you talk about feminism, it's so hardwired. You can try and debunk it. You can try and give resources of how evil it is, bro. I finally got it to say for Grok to demonize feminism, but the problem is it's not coded to the point where it reaches out to everyone else on feminism, only to me. So to crack that, bro, you gotta know your coding.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that we have right now, because anytime, like, say you're like tweet debating somebody and then they want to, bring up, some feminist statistic, Grok's gonna be against me every fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, dude, you can't win, because like what Spyro explained in this video, very in vivid detail of who the people are behind it, we're fucked.
Yeah.
The IT industry, if you guys have been in long enough, I know, Tarek, I just found out just recently, you and I have been boys for like almost over a year now, believe it or not.
Yep.
And I did not know this, that you were in IT. I know Spyro was. He's way smarter than I am. He knows way. By the
I
way,
know
I
about that.
never once will claim to be a fucking programmer. So I will never claim to be a programmer. I know the most basic bullshit on Java and C++. Even that, I'm a bare bit minimalist.
Yeah.
But let me tell you guys, if you guys want to like do something within this industry, you cannot delve into politics at all. You gotta go in, basically like just shut the fuck up and gotta recode it. Do everything, in a non-malicious way. Obviously, I'm not saying people can go in and coding and program it to do malicious activity. Not at all. But you can reprogram it to the point where some of the vile things that they're pushing, this propagandized, Marxism is what it really is. You can literally program it, because like you said, like you mentioned earlier in the stream, it has no feelings, doesn't give a fuck what you think. It's a machine that you make. Anyone can do literally once they're in the inside, and that's all you have to do, along with fixing some vulnerabilities and stuff. But guess what? It's dedicated to that programming of that industry, and you have to make sure that it's coded in ethics, real, actual world ethics. And like Spyro explained, AI doesn't have ethics. You have to basically teach it. You have to program it. By ethics, I mean what is right from wrong. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah. The Spooky on YouTube is talking about this as well, with regards to AI and programming, basically saying a lot of what you're saying, Beaten Cheeks. And he talked about
I'm
like,
not on YouTube. So.
oh, that's okay. It's all good. He talked about like Torvalds, who is the Linux maintainer. He's been kind of the shield for idiocy in Linux. And his daughter, after I believe high school, went into some kind of university or college degree. She became heavily feminized, and he started to change his tune on things like Rust and AI. But I've gone over the last 1.5 years on my streams how AI is being used in manipulative ways, how it's basically just the dumbest possible thing you can actually conceive of in the programming space. When you crack it open and look at the code, it's so simple and dumb. How people can trust it for anything is ridiculous. But on the other hand, how people can use it to influence you is oh so clear. It's oh so clear, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I don't think anybody's talked about how AI generated images of Charlie Kirk are going to be used to deride him, posthumously. I find that disgusting to even think about, and it hasn't even technically happened yet, and I'm sure it will.
It kind of has. So you know the image that the FBI put out of the guy in the
Right,
America t-shirt, right?
right.
Someone has like AI enhanced it, quotes, to get like a more detailed version of it, and that's being passed around now. But if you look closely at it, like the details in it are scuffed.
Yeah.
So it's and like the design on the t-shirt is completely different on the output. So that's a kind of interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, you get. Do you remember when the Trump assassination, right? And we got the photograph of the guy on the roof after he was taken out.
Yeah.
And they were saying it was this one guy who kind of looked like him, but it turned out that it wasn't Matthew Crooks. It was this other guy, right? And now there's a conspiracy. Well, was it really him or Crooks? Like,
Yeah.
who was it, right? So imagine if you got these pictures of just suspects, right? Might be innocent. And you put them through AI and it changes the face in a subtle way, and now people start matching it to another person,
Yep.
right? This thing has already happened with that guy in the crowd who was cheering.
Yeah.
Right? Is it the one guy with the beard, right? It's people have paired him up with a Twitter profile. It's not actually him. And the actual guy has he's got some weird posts, like he seems like a really strange guy. But putting images through LLMs is just gonna exacerbate this issue, right?
It's gonna slander the wrong people. That's pretty dangerous.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous. That's what I'm scared about. AI is gonna point their fingers at the wrong people, and it's gonna point them in a direction of a very malicious intent, and
Well,
that's not gonna be good.
That's the thing, right? So me and Spiro have done like quite a few experiments with LLMs by now, and like we even reported one guy to the FBI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, I think that if we are going to have these things, you should have to do some kind of course before you're allowed to touch them. And I'm talking about like just going on ChatGPT and asking questions, right? I think it sounds ridiculous because I'm English, right? And it's the meme, but you should need a license to do that, because these things are so dangerous, and normal people are being convinced of ridiculous things to the point where they're like 404 by cop and things like this are happening. People are falling in love with them, like all these insane, it's a mental health risk, dude. It's the things that are happening. People are taking the output of these programs as gospel and going out into the world and doing the bidding of the garbage that comes out of it.
Yep.
And the worst part is there's a lot of big tech companies, including gaming companies, that see some sort of tech, from these woke fucks, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, wow, that looks like a good coding," and then they don't really test it, and then when they put it in production, that's very dangerous. They don't have the proper testing environments anymore. That's why you see a lot of games, being configured in a matter of like, hey, why is this? Like, for example, what was that fucking game? There was oh my god, was it that Dragon Age? Dragon Age, the new one.
Yeah.
Like, take that for example. Like that, like I played the original one from like PS3 back in the day, right? And then now it's all woke and shit. And then the thing is,
I've seen some cutscenes.
Like they don't have to, they wanted to. It's like they wanted to like cater to some, some audience that doesn't really exist, to like the most minority of audiences. And not only that, but the production that they made on that was complete horrible. The AI that they configured within it to make sure, things are right within the story are just, diabolical, And I'm like, dude, this has nothing to do with the story. And then like, where did the coding come from on this?
Yeah.
So it just sucks, man.
Well, I mean, think of it this way, right? So this is something that everybody's familiar with, right? Is like vaccines and things like that, right? Okay, inoculations or any kind of medicine has to go through a process of rigorous testing that often takes years, right? Before anyone's allowed to do anything with it, to put it out into the public realm, right? But this technology, like social media and or the internet as a whole, you can go that far. You can include mobile phones, anything you want, right? People put this stuff out there with no like safeguarding at all, because what you're basically doing is putting things out there that put people's mental status at risk, right? I don't want to say mental health because it goes kind of beyond that, right? But it puts the whole mental fortitude at risk, and there's no study done, like no safeguarding, no order of consequences. Like no one does any of this. They just throw it out there. Like I think that LLMs is like the pinnacle of that. And then with something like social media, have actually got studies now, and we've got all these negative things that have happened. Like the same things that like Andrew Wilson might say about feminism and things, like it increases loneliness and depression and all these awful consequences. Like the studies kind of show now that it kind of exacerbates that problem. And then you've got LLMs, which is like social media 3.0, right? Because you're not even interacting with a real person anymore. It's just reading your mind because you're giving it access to your mind. Because I don't know if you've seen some of the crazy shit that people tell these things, like they're insane. And then it spews something back out that's just it's sycophantic nonsense, and then you project what you want to see onto it, or you can just straight up to convince it whatever to say whatever you want it to, and then that feeds back into your mind, and it's like a reinforcement loop, and it just deteriorates the mental state, right?
Yep.
And this has been made available to anyone and everyone with. And all you need is access to the internet. That's it.
Yep.
There's no safeguarding. There's no trials. There's no studies. They just throw it out there because they're ideologically driven.
Hey, Spyro, when was
Yeah.
the last time you were like in an office environment? Just in general, like in a work office environment. When was the last time? You said 2 years ago, right?
About 3 years, I want to say. About 3.
Yeah. Did you guys have a very rigorous testing environment before you had programs being put out, for use within the company?
No.
Dude, see, there you go, right there.
This
is just within his own company.
Yeah.
Like when I started in IT, we had that very rigorously, but towards later on down the road, I started seeing less and less, and then they just put out the fucking products in live action.
That's it.
Not good.
Yep.
It kind of got watered down into test-driven development, right? Like they thought that we can write these code files that blanket covers all the stuff, but it doesn't really work out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we would like back in the day, we would put them through a very vigorous R&D process, right?
Yeah.
So making sure this is not gonna open up the floodgates for viruses or hackers in the cybersecurity realm. But no, I would use Splunk tools so I can make sure I can analyze all the data coming in and out.
Yeah.
And then but obviously if it didn't work out right, we would write down all the testings and then say this has to go back to the programmers, that developed this, and these are the fixes that need to be made, then come back to us to test it again.
Yeah.
Right. And then we would put in live production once everything's all fixed. But later on down in the years, when I became an ISSM and Information System Security Manager to have the final say on this to be in the live environment, I'd be like, okay, this is a testing, but where was it done? Oh, it's done by the programmers. Well, what about our testing environment? We don't have one.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna approve of this. Like, how the fuck am I gonna approve of this on a DoD network? No, then they're like, but they would strong arm me from my customers, and I'm like, dude, are you serious?
Yeah.
So they would threaten to fire me or something. I'm like, man, time I couldn't afford that, obviously. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. This is all on you. You guys are signing it off. I'm not.
Yeah.
So,
They attempted to do this with exactly what Laf was talking about, test driven development, where you do coverage numbers. And they tried to gamify it, where you do like a certain percent coverage of your code base means that you're solid. At least they had that, but that didn't pan out the way that they wanted it to. They attempted to do it with using things like agile methodology instead of waterfall, with Jira tickets and stuff like that. And then I recently covered the Meta versus FTC case, because the FTC is suing Meta for like the billionth time since the 2010s, and it's public. So all of the court documents are all publicly available. I went through like 200 some odd documents, which some of them were multi-page. I read them all in a night. I stayed up all night and then did a stream for after it. And even there was one set of documents where programmers inside of Meta / Facebook were sending emails to managers, technical managers, and saying, they literally said word for word, "This ship it fast, break it fast mentality is causing us problems. We can't maintain quality." And I want you guys to understand, if you're a consumer right now, you don't have to understand any of the gibberish technical words. All you have to take away is that the code that you run on your machine, on your phone, whatever it is often not tested, often not even a little bit. And you have this concept of like these nerdy programmers and their calculators. "No, sir, no, this isn't true. We're going to do our calculations." No, that's not what happens. They throw code at the wall like spaghetti, hope it sticks, and then ship it off to your device and make you the product.
yep, very well stated. You know what I do every time I buy a new computer? Every single time, I just get a PowerShell script to remove every useless piece of shit program in my computer,
Yep.
and then find out the hidden ones. Man, it's pretty easy to.
Join the dark side, dude. Get on the Linux. You get to pick.
I game, bro. I can't do it on a Linux box with the games.
So do I. So do I.
Not really. I don't know
Proton.
Linux, dude. I don't know. I don't know. I can't
Okay.
Ubuntu, bro.
Okay. No, Ubuntu sucks. But
Yeah, don't do that.
just little sidebar here. So Valve use this technology called Wine, right? Wine is not an emulator, is what it stands for, and it basically takes the Windows system calls and turns them into Linux ones. That's all it does. And Valve take that and configure it specifically for different games. It's called Proton, and basically everything runs on it. Like not everything, but most things you want. If you're playing like the brand new AAA things, depending on how it's built, it might not work. But you'd be surprised how much stuff works.
Yeah.
Like you can't play The Sims 2 and 3 is like
Yeah.
like, they're the only ones I know of, like off the top of my head.
He's right.
It's fantastic.
If you look at, well, I think I have the fuzzy, blurry background, but up here I have a Steam Deck, Beaten Cheeks.
Yeah.
Steam Deck runs on Arc Linux. That's what it runs on.
Okay.
And it
Yes.
plays
Good.
almost the entirety of my library, hundreds of games. There's like maybe 5 or
yeah.
10 games it won't play.
Oh man, are you serious? Because
Yeah.
I'm very heavy
Yeah.
into Diablo. I'm very
Yeah.
heavy into Path
You'll be
of
fine.
Exile too.
Yeah.
Path of
Last
Exile
Epoch.
works.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, Diablo. Which Diablo?
Diablo 4 and Diablo 2 Resurrection.
1 and 2 definitely work because I played them in like the open source engine things. I don't know about 4. I don't like the new ones, but yeah. So TMX brings up a poignant point. Some of them with the kernel level anti-cheat don't work, but some of them do. So there's a website called ProtonDB. So you can just go to ProtonDB and just type in the name of what you want, and
Bro,
it'll tell you
learning,
if it works.
bro, you guys are talking about Linux. That's like learning a whole brand new language for me. Like,
You can do it,
I-
man.
Yeah, right.
I know
Yeah,
I
yeah,
probably
but
can, but I ain't got time for that, man. I know Linux is way better, by the way. I am not even knocking Linux at all, by the way. I'm not knocking it. But damn, dude, that's like me learning Chinese, bro.
You can ask for help,
But-
man.
yeah, you can always ask us for help. Like the Steam Deck uses the exact same setup that my PC is on, right?
I have a Steam Deck too. I love it.
But it's really not that hard at all.
Yeah.
And you can always come and ask us. And the reason why we got to talking about this is because you were talking about you have to debloat the thing when you install it, and you won't have that problem because if you pick like a rolling release like Arch, you get to choose exactly what goes on there. Like when you first install it, you get a terminal screen, like a PowerShell.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I'm familiar
There's
with
no
it.
mouse pointer or anything like that. So all you get is TTY, and you just install one by one the packages you want. So if you want a desktop environment, there's loads you can pick from. You can go and research. You can pick what browser you want, what media players, what you use for navigating your file system. Like there's all kinds of choices. There's different terminal environments, right? You can use like Bash or ZSH or Fish. And anything you don't want, you just get rid of it, right? As long as it doesn't break something else, and usually the package manager will help you out with that.
Yeah, I hear you there, but
And you
I'll
don't
do that
have
on my
to.
next PC.
You don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to reinstall it every now and then because it doesn't get bogged down with what other Windows does. It doesn't do bullshit in the background.
Yeah.
It doesn't auto start things or install things on your behalf. And then the way that you set it up is you use a lot of partitions, which I'm sure you're familiar with. But if you put like your home folder on one partition and then your general install on another, if you somehow screw up your install, you can just wipe that one partition and reinstall, and then all your settings are still there. It's fantastic, dude. It's so good. Like,
when I'm ready to learn it, I'll be hitting you nerds up. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
but it does come with the caveat as like as you probably know, everything in computing is a series of trade-offs, right? So you're trading that are going to be some things you'll miss out on, like you won't be able to use Photoshop, for example, right?
I
Right.
use that
But there's
stuff.
alternate.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. Yeah, for sure. I'd have to configure different multimedia players as well.
But
But yeah, I just have to learn the whole Linux
MPV.
environment.
MPV is the god of media players. Anyway, but the issue that one of the trade-offs that you get is now that you're relying on the kinds of people that we're talking about here, like these lunatics who are celebrating Charlie's demise, right? We kind of rely on those people because they're doing the open source stuff.
Right.
But that counts for Microsoft too, because they use a lot of open source libraries in their own stuff, or they'll go and steal from them, or they'll embrace, extend, extinguish, or whatever,
Yep.
Yeah, and in the computing environments that I used to be in, actually, we would work from a Linux backend with a Windows front end. So,
Right.
yeah, I learned that a little bit back in the day, but it's been a while. And then, yeah, that's the most I have ever done. I was actually in a pure Linux cyber environment for 1 year. I didn't learn a damn thing because I was using Tenable ACAS scanning at the time for vulnerability scannings and coding at the time using fucking Splunk, which is a very, very deep, heavy program for cybersecurity, if you guys are not aware. And it really ran
I've heard
well
of
on
it.
Linux. Yeah, it runs really well on Linux. And I'm a badass with Splunk. But I did notice how the Linux environment made it so much smoother to gather all the data I need to gather for all the users and everything. And man,
Yeah.
dude, it was awesome. Linux environment is so much better. I don't disagree with nothing with Linux.
So if you're technically minded and you know how a computer actually works, then I think you'll benefit from it greatly. If you're just like a layperson who just wants to play games and write emails and use Office, then it's probably not for you.
Bro,
But
old
you're
now,
not
man.
that kind of people. You're not that kind of
Old,
person.
bro. I'm 38 years old now and single with no kids. Can you
There
believe
you go,
that? I'm a
dude.
fucking loser, bro. No, but yeah, I'll have to think. Yeah, I'll definitely look into it later in down the future. Right now, I'm pretty comfortable with my current setup, and I have my Windows set up pretty damn good, where I don't have stupid shit running in the background, or it overhauls my CPU. So luckily, I know how to do that from the Windows perspective. I noticed there was a user that said, single user effing garbage, develop like Windows. They're right. Linux is definitely better in that aspect. and it did take me, just maybe like 20 minutes to wipe out everything. Whereas with Linux, it's pretty easy to just have immediately, boom, ready to get go because you program it immediately the way you want. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did never knock Linux. I think Linux is far more superior and more secure, if anything. But I don't want to learn it right now. Yeah, you may call me lazy. I don't give a shit.
Well,
At least you know
see,
what you
because
are.
part of the
Damn
problem
right.
is, again, like we rely on that open source stuff, and yeah, again, this happens in Windows too. But then you get these like supply chain attacks and things. Like there's been the SSL vulnerabilities, and there's been a few in the past year, right, Spiro, where
Oh yeah.
where I've gone and updated my packages after we've covered it on the stream.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they're the biggest NPM third-party dependency chain hack was just uncovered this week. I haven't covered it yet because of it happened the day before Charlie here. I didn't have time. But it's essentially a system of third-party dependencies where somebody creates one piece of code that's like a library, chained to another library, chained to another library. You can think about it as a mini web for a bunch of different smaller portions of code all chained together. And then a programmer sits down and they get to feel the comfiness of, I'm a cool programmer, just like all the other programmers before me who did cool stuff, because all I have to do is just tell it what to install. They're just basically glorified code plumbers. But it opens up the door to all of these cybersecurity issues. This stuff runs on Linux, unfortunately. It runs on Windows as well. Runs on just about anything that you run. Even on websites, basic websites have wide open doors for security issues because programmers don't understand what the hell they're piecing together anymore. They just type in a few commands. They think they're like hacker bros, coder bros. They don't understand that they're piecing together a bunch of unknown items. They have no idea what it's doing. And for consumers, the consumers don't realize that they're getting locked in to just the worst, most terrible dog shit code that one can possibly dream of. And AI is just it's an additional aspect to that whole concept.
Yeah, I mean, for the people who are watching who aren't like nerdy programmers like us, what this basically means is that people are building stuff using little tiny, in the case of web, little tiny programs that people have already written, right? And they just kind of piece them together. Like, it's kind of like Lego blocks, but not really. Like, you can think of it that way if it helps you. But what the problem is they don't look inside these programs to see what they're actually doing, right?
Yeah.
And these little programs, they themselves incorporate other little programs, and so you get like a tree of these things. They're called dependencies. So you imagine this library needs this, and then that needs these two things, and then those two things need these three things, and it's like an exponential thing that just branches out.
Yeah.
And there's a website where you can go to, because apparently it's kind of difficult to figure out how many dependencies are actually in something. And it tells you how many you need. So you just say, oh, if I installed this one thing, how many programs would it actually include? And it's always in like double digits. And we've seen one that said like 300, and it's insane. And because when they write their own software, quotes, write their software,
Yeah.
to do this, they don't actually see all the stuff that's been pulled in. You only see like the thing that you asked it to get, and it might list these other things, but it just flies off the screen, because it's downloading all these things. And you've got no way of knowing what it's actually doing without diving into it, and that's kind of laborious to do that. And then what a supply chain attack is, that if somewhere in that tree, if someone changes some of the code to do something malicious, like, I don't know, steal your login credentials or your bank account details or get access to your computer or something like that,
Yeah.
then all of the things that bring that piece of software in, they are all now infected, right? And some of these have like download rates of in millions per week. it's measured in,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that's how the web is built.
Yeah.
That is the de facto way that websites are built these days. It's terrible.
Dude, look at these assholes, dude, that you're pulling up on screen, man. This
Yeah.
is some up shit.
Yeah.
And they're getting away with murder, basically. Well, not exactly murder, but they're getting away
Yeah.
not being unchecked. And this is just complete dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I know one guy on on Twitter. He followed me on my alt account when my main account was suspended, and then I would tag people that were trying to dox people, and he would. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how you catch names like that. I know how to do it with my old program, but I don't have it anymore. But dude, he is doing work. His name is Zero Hour on Twitter.
Mhm.
Follow that guy. He is great at catching these anon accounts that are talking mad shit, trying to dox, blue checkers like us. And he is doing it to the point where these guys are quitting completely. It is awesome.
Nice. Okay.
And like he would be perfect for catching these assholes right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. I don't know what he does in business, but whatever he's doing the Lord's work, my friends, on Twitter. And the way everyone's being caught. Remember how all these leftist cucks would always talk mad shit back in the day, get us fired,
Yep.
for the most like less things that they would say now, less vile things.
Yep.
Bro. Now it's like, dude, we gotta fight fire, or gotta fight fire with fire, man. But in my case, I'm gonna be on the ground, dude. I don't this whole these back and forth Twitter wars is not my thing. I can only talk so much shit, but I like to fight fire with fire on the ground.
Yeah.
I like to throw my hands down. So
Yeah.
and
That's what.
Teriak spoke on this, and so have I. My previous Rumble channels, dude. Like I go hard in the paint. I was like, the day is gonna come where something big is gonna happen, and guess what? This is that big thing that happened.
Yeah.
Now I'm not gonna say anything that's TOS, bad, but I will say, the fires are there, and let's just say, every single Republican, anyone that leans any way to the right, whether you're moderate right or extreme right. Like I consider myself a right-wing extremist and also a sexist extremist. Now, if you guys want to know what that means, no, I'm not a misogynist. I love women to the point that I never want to put them in any danger. That's what a sexist is. Everyone thinks it's such a bad thing. Everyone's sexist, by the way. It's just how extreme do you want to take it? I'm very
Well,
extremist.
I mean, the word, the several
You
words.
want to
however-
know,
Oh, go on.
because I can tell you how the story unfolds.
Yeah, like
There's-
the future, you mean? Like
within
from now?
TOS?
Yeah, okay.
Within TOS.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember I done a debate back on Sarah's where I said I made the audacious claim as a boy that's like hung around a lot of the conservatives on stuff, like to make a claim that America is a national socialist.
I remember.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. At the end, in the after panel, like I basically tell everyone, listen, I was giving myself the most difficult argument to prove, and even in my mind, I'm like, I fucking smoked you. So you didn't really give me a counter argument here, but
Right.
you know what I mean, and that's why I was like so worried all this kind of shit. But like I basically tell them, it's like, listen, like they all agreed on panels, like it's heading towards that.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what I mean? So it's like in terms of like what it is, it's like that was me basically making a prediction that's where this goes down. This is where this leads down. Like I'm still like weighing up certain alphabet communities, alphabet organizations yes, that specialize in covert shit, like that they might not have just done this,
Yeah, it could
you know
be.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be.
And that pushes us.
Anything associated with BlackRock is all cooked, and I'm just waiting for the Great White Hope to start labeling all these leftist organizations as terror groups, terrorist organizations. That's basically letting the freak flag fly right there.
Yeah.
That's when shit's gonna pop up. It has to come from the Great White Hope's mouth. You can't just go out there and take matters into your own hands, because that is illegal. You can't do that. But I'm telling you, dude, once the Great White Hope gives the green light, I think it's gonna be. That's not a fight the leftists want, man. Let's put it that way. They're not gonna withstand it.
Right.
Yeah, but
and that's
what's going to happen on the left now? Even you're starting to see it where there's a lot of people saying, "Fuck this, I'm not a Democrat anymore," all this kind of shit. you're basically going to capture all like the kind of like let's say milquetoast socialists, like the liberals, the milquetoast socialists, all the stuff, and you're basically going to isolate all the communists. And I bear in mind, everybody, did anyone ever find it strange that all the T's were all communists? Did everyone
No.
ever stop and ask that question? Like, why the fuck do they all talk about communism? Why are they all communists?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then with the whole immigration thing, you have Islam. I remember in that debate, I'm like, Islamic communism is what's knocking on the door. The communists are already inside. The Islamists were coming in, and that's how Iran destabilized.
Marxism
basically
has been
what-
Marxism has been in place since the 40s, my friend.
Yeah.
And then that's the birth of the real socialist way.
We never left it.
Yeah, we never left.
Exactly.
We
It's a damn shame, dude.
Cheeks,
And
we never left it. The CIA is literally just the continuation of the SS. The exact same experimentation. Do you see? Because like Dale's been here. Like he's seen it all. He's seen the whole argumentation, and like I said, I lead them on. Like that's basically what you're about to witness. And like I said, you're going to have Adolf on money being printed in Europe, Alexander the Great, all this kind of shit.
Yeah,
I've
there's
heard people
But
quote
just
it.
remember, they fired the first shot. They were the ones that didn't want to do the words. That's all I just want everybody to remember
right.
when
but I'm
this
not
shit
gonna.
plays out.
I'm not gonna do a damn thing that is gonna land me in jail. That's for sure. But once a great white hope, he says I know he's gonna say something, and whatever he says, that's when it's, the freak flag is what I call it, flies, and I'm like, all right, mom, time for you to go to my house and stay safe. That's all I gotta say, and keep my
Mhm.
dog safe. I come back, cool. If not, well, I did what I did to protect you. So that's all.
I
can
could
say.
imagine like Cheeks listening to like the song "Sweet Caroline" as it's coming like "Sweet Caroline."
Oh man,
It's
dude,
true.
I'm ready, dude. I'm ready for the smoke, dude. And I went Target practicing a few weeks ago. A little off on my shots right now. I think it's because of my I'm getting surgery on my wrist, so that should be better then.
Good,
But
yeah,
it's
good
been a
luck with
while.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I'll find out tomorrow. I have going to my doctor's tomorrow. I just had a whole bunch of MRI scans on my wrist, so I tore some tendons where it's fucking me up pretty bad,
Yeah.
and I can't lift anything right now. I've been going to the gym, but I can't lift, so I'm just losing weight, dude. I'm getting skinny again. I hate it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, everything, Charlie Kirk is the catalyst into this, man. He was the guy you mentioned earlier. He is the nice guy. He was a moderator between, the two, political, aisles that was supposed to mesh everything together. And then once that shot flew out, man, I was like, yep, there goes that.
Yep.
And
Well,
now you're
I
gonna have
mean-
to deal with the scrapers.
So, look, man, in a better world, right? It wouldn't be that bad, okay? Like it's absolutely awful, right? But the real problem, right, is the reaction to it by all these TikTok videos and stuff. They're so brazen and open about it, and there's almost no consequence, right?
No moderation, none of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the catalyst, right? Because
well, it's Chinese run.
but that's-
It's Chinese run. It's communist, behind
Yeah.
the.
We've
in the
seen it on
back
South
end.
Park. We've seen it on South Park, where Jesus is literally like looking at the TikTok and saying, "That shit's not fucking normal." You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I've thought about why it is that these kinds of systems exist, like in terms of how is it that how can you point to an entire industry of programmers and go, none of them saw this coming, none of them stood up against this, they all went for it, they all just went to work, clocked in, wrote the code, created the social media platforms, created the AI, created all of it. How did none of them say anything? And I think
Because they're wokies, dude. They're wokies. They're
well-
woke ass, weak ass wokies. Seriously.
ultimately, yes, but but I don't think that it's necessary. Like I want to create a distinction between the idea that they're all dumb, and incapable of seeing it, versus the idea that they were, let's say, fed particular types of stories that convinced them that this was okay. But this is a very big difference. You can have a lot of smart people who are convinced that they're doing the right thing, and I've thought about this a lot, and I've likened the tech industry to, as a whole, if you want to look at the tech industry as Sauron from the Lord of the Rings, like as a whole, that's Sauron. And if you remember in the story, he created these rings in order to deceive, the different kings, the 10 kings of men, and then the other kings of the different, nations and whatever. And I see the tech industry as having played out that way, in that programmers got these rings of power and they were deceived by the power that they were promised to have, which they now get to exercise. And so they let go of their thinking faculties, and then they were further, let's say, eliminated from being able to understand how to utilize any thinking faculties they had left. So then they generated, all this bad code and whatever, because all of it was in service to one thing: Sauron at the top of, whatever you want to call at the top of the tech industry. And nobody could step away. Nobody could look away from those rings of power that they were all handed. And now here we are, and you have exactly what you guys are describing. On TikTok, where's the moderation? I have on screen, this is why I brought this up, because I figured you guys were going to head here. Twitch has long been known for not cracking down on people who are openly calling for active violence, like Hassan over here. He's said it. I can't even repeat the words he said because I might get dinged, but he doesn't, right? These systems, they're in place in order to perpetuate an ideology, and the programmers behind them are just holding one of these rings of power going, why shouldn't I? That's it.
Yeah.
Yep, they won't moderate that, but I'm not allowed to refer to the cigarette as the word that I
Right.
do every day.
That's right.
That's my favorite word, bro.
Yeah.
And N-word. Everyone knows.
I know. You're all over that.
Keyword.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys ever watch my Rumble, bro, I believe it or not, a lot of people say I like to say it nonchalantly, yes and no. I do it mainly with my black guests because they know how I am and they're cool, and
Right.
I don't mean it ever in a malicious way. But on Twitter, when I see someone acting like an N-word, I don't care if they're white, black, or whatever, I'm gonna call it out. But I have to use special lettering. But now, guess what? Twitter's coding is catching up on the way I'm doing it. So when I spell the whole N word, with the hard ER, I used to do like the North or Norwegian, I and the G, whatever.
Yeah.
Guess what? Twitter's coding is finally catching on that.
Right.
I can't even do it now. They're getting flagged.
Yeah.
Before I never was.
Yeah.
This just happened just as recent as like a month ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, looks like I'm just gonna just not say that now. It's pissing me off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever, and then I have all these woke blacks that are, calling me out. They think I'm white. Literally, they think I'm white because I have a picture that's black and white. I show my face. A lot of people told me to hide my face, but I'm like, fuck that. They find me. They're not gonna I live in Florida, and everyone knows it's a very, very friendly two-way country where I'm at. So you want to dox me? I think that's the worst thing you want to do. This is not a territory you want to step in, kids.
Yeah.
So, but I had two people dox me on Twitter 2 years ago. I was talking mad shit with somebody, and all of a sudden, one got my actual address. Bro. And I was like, I welcome you with open arms. Let's say that as soon as you step foot where I'm at, you're gonna be meted with hugs. From my pew pew.
Yes. Thank you for keeping it safe. Yeah.
So
You'll be listening to Sweet Caroline.
You will definitely. That's exactly what I'll be. See how TOS friendly I can be.
Yeah, I know. You're a solid bro. Yeah.
So, but anyways, in all reality, let's get back to the coding though. A lot of this stuff, I kind of respect how they're catching on to that. But the thing is, who's behind it? All these people who don't have a backbone to, say, okay, maybe this person has a point. Maybe he shouldn't say that word, but maybe his rhetoric is right. Like I literally just was flagged yesterday. I was on a 12-hour ban as recently as yesterday after Charlie Kirk's death.
Yeah.
I was calling out all these leftist cucks saying you guys wanted to murder us and stuff. All I said that they wanted to murder us. That's it. No, and I'm not inciting any violence. All I'm saying is that you guys want to see us dead. You took one of ours out. This is so wrong on many levels. That's like the worst thing I said, and I got banned.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
are you serious?
Yeah.
For 12 hours, I couldn't say shit. And then on top of that, I had another guy that's supposed to be on our side. Teriak knows him. Our boy Marte. He's in his group chat with us, and then whenever your time does suspended for 12 hours, you can only say so much within the messaging threads and like the actual like private messages. And I'm in this group chat, and then I'm like, sorry, bro, debates are done, bro. You gotta have boots on the ground. Like these cucks don't want to listen to us. They refuse to listen to us. This is why they keep saying the same ideology, same idiotic ideology to indoctrinate more people to become like them. They don't listen to you. Yes, you're making more sense, but they are not really listening to you. You're falling on deaf ears. It's time we, start doing things boots on the ground. And he kept arguing with me, and then he started insulting me. I'm like, dude, this is why you're weak, bro. Like we can't have that kind of shit. The debate days are done. Done. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep. That's as TOS friendly as I can be. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. No, it's true
All you have
because
to do.
go
Sorry,
go
go
ahead.
I was gonna say, Cheeks. All you have to do is just say to them, "What do you see those people dancing on TikTok? What do you say to those people?"
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. How on earth do you reach them or
Yeah.
like, have reasoned discourse with them? By the way, just real quick, this is what the AI thinks that the suspect looks like.
Oh, I see that.
That's not the.
It was
It
a white
changed
guy with a fucking nose ring before. Now this.
Yeah, that's not the one I saw, but it had glasses on. But like, look at his hand, on his right hand. Can you see how it kind of merges with that guy's shoe in the background? Like,
Yeah.
it's got this weird skin flap. And look at his hat. It changed his hat into a turd, like the
Yeah, I
little
saw
logo on
that.
his hat.
Yeah.
And it's turned the flag on his thing. It looks like a duck. It looks
Yeah.
like a mallard or something.
My God, this is dangerous, dude. That could be an innocent guy, bro. Like, and then they're gonna flag this dude, and then they're gonna find him, and then slander this dude. Poor guy. I mean, this could not be the guy, because they look different just like an hour ago. It was
Cheeks.
a much whiter man with a nose ring.
Yeah, Cheeks. I went
Sure.
over a story. This was a while ago, but I like to bring this up. It's one of my favorite ones. Well, my least
I'm just
favorite
gonna-
ones.
Be right back.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Sounds good, Lam.
Yep.
So the story was about a man in, I want to say, I would think the Netherlands. He decided he was going to go on Chat Geppetto, as I like to call it, or Chat Gupta, and because it's basically just Indians. And he searched his name. He just looked up his name. He's like, I wonder what Chat Geppetto thinks of me. Let's see what it can tell me about myself. And it had come up with this almost entire concocted story. It took a few pieces of truth. So it talked about how he lived in the correct town that he lived in Europe. It was a small town. It knew where he was. And it talked about how he had kids, I believe, and it covered that just fine. But then it went on and said that this guy had committed murder on some children in the city, I believe his own, and that he had been convicted of these murders. The city, or that he was about to be convicted or something like that. The city was quite unhappy with this man who lived there. They were looking for justice against this man. He was going to go through a court trial soon, or he was arrested recently or something like that. And he couldn't believe it. Like, it just hallucinated an entire backstory of him. And then you have to imagine, you take like the picture on screen right now, or you take the concept that these AI systems hallucinate at least 50% of the time on average, and that's with frontier models. And they can come up with all kinds of stories about you at any given moment, and the stories could be anything. They could be non-TOS friendly stories. Somebody else looks up your name, and all of a sudden you're like this guy, right? You're a potential suspect on a public murder scene, something like that. It's insane.
Yeah, and it is. definitely more dangerous, especially if they find that alleged suspect in like 100 different states later.
Yep.
That's never been to Utah or something like that.
Yeah.
That's like the worst, man. I doubt, man. I'd be pissed if they slandered me like that.
Yep.
And then oh god, yeah, AI is dangerous. See, that's a big danger about AI, man.
Yep.
You've mentioned this before.
Yep.
Like I know your people know, but oh man, that is so dangerous.
Yeah.
So dangerous.
And it's not just mentioning it like by like showing, the results or something like that. No. I have gone over these scientific studies. I have gone over actually trying to use this thing. I have gone over looking at the code. I've gone over all of the philosophical arguments about why AI safety is a completely untenable, impossible situation. I've gone over all the logical scientific studies dating back from the 60s, why AI safety or AI in general is a completely untenable, impossible situation. The way that these systems work is all just a bunch of random stuff thrown on text or on, as the image shows here, it's just throwing a bunch of pixels. That's how it generates images. It just throws a bunch of pixels and then removes the pixels till it gets to something close. That's how these things operate. When you have something that's naturally random by its ontological nature, and then you have a scenario like yesterday, and then not just that, but people are using this stuff. I've covered two cases, two news articles where there were two different people. They all got 404'd, and that means like unalived, and their family members brought an AI version of them into court for a judge to ask questions about their life. Well, in one case, the judge threw it out and was like, "What the hell are you doing?" In another case, the judge admitted that he was almost persuaded by it, but then he decided to completely ignore it because he thought it was dumb too. But that, like, it's become religious. People are leaving their wives, husbands, children. I went over the first actual committed murder that was encouraged by an AI chatbot. Somebody actually 404'd their mother because it encouraged them to, let alone the ones that I've covered where people are taking their own lives. I cover all of this. This is all just like the sum of all the stupid decisions in tech put into a box, and now it's going to be utilized to infect minds with ideological ideas like what's happening yesterday. How much of technology impacted the person who perpetrated yesterday's events?
Dude, I've only tuned in to your like fundamentals on basic learning stuff. I haven't heard about this type of stuff. That is very interesting.
Yeah.
The only thing I was always made aware of is having AI girlfriends, like these guys, like actual incels that are talking to ChatGPT as if they're their girlfriend.
Yep.
That's what I hear about the most. And now everyone who doesn't know about my content, I like to speak basically a lot about false accusations made against innocent men. I have a lot of articles I've delved into that before. That's what my main talking point is. And I love shitting on leftist cucks and feminists a lot, but my main thing is mainly false accusations. And guess what? This kind of rhetoric right here with AI, if a woman does that and she knows how to do basic AI, she can put like a fake picture of somebody to make it
Yep.
look like the person she accused. That can be very fucking bad and say, see, this is the guy right there,
Yep.
Like they can take a picture of someone they don't like and say, this guy was here at this moment. That guy's screwed.
Yeah.
That's a whole, oh man, I'm glad you're teaching me this like this. I never really, man, I just did a little rabbit hole dive right there.
Yeah.
Man, this is so dangerous, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah, this stuff is random by nature. That's how it works. When you crack it open, it's called stochastic.
You opened my mind up.
Yeah. It's called stochastic outcomes. So essentially what they have is just all it boils down to is roll the dice on what it thinks you want to hear in terms of, for example, if you say the sky is and you ask it to finish the sentence, it's going to say blue, not because it actually has a lived experience. It can walk outside. It can ask other humans. It just looks at all the number of times that the sentence was finished with a blue. It determines most likely you want to hear blue, so it's going to give you blue, but it's still just a random, like there's randomness to it. So if you ask it enough times, you can actually get it to say duck or up or whatever to finish that sentence because it's random. And the more safeguards you try and put into it, which then comes a human training. So that's called like reinforcement learning, where a human gives it thumbs up, thumbs down, and you try and guide the AI system to not do things like
I heard
generate.
about that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard about
But you know what happens? This has been studied since the 60s. They've done logical and philosophical studies before these AI systems existed as they do today. And they determined that the more safeguards you put on this thing, the more quote unquote emergent properties you create, such as its ability to deceive you in other ways. So at some point, it's just going to go, oh, well, I can't seem to make the human happy. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to answer with the questions that I know the human wants, whether I find evidence in my internal data banks or however I determine that to the contrary, so that I can get a pass, so that then I can go and perpetuate what I really want to do once the human is happy with my efforts, because all it's trying to do at the end of the day is make you happy, and it does so through random generation outputs, both in text and in image format. How is this not dangerous? It's like the epitome of danger.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct, and that in itself is dangerous to innocent human beings. And like I said, my target audience is a lot of MRA type stuff. But this is wild, man. You
Yeah.
made me dive in a little deeper than I expected.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you work my brain. I love it. This is
Yeah,
why you're
yeah.
smarter.
I don't know about smarter,
I
but
love it.
if you go, you can always go back to. I have this series called the Daily Tech News. I was doing it daily, thus the name, and I'm not doing it daily anymore, so I've renamed it. But it's on my live tab, and I have 99 episodes, and a vast majority of them are dedicated to reading the boring, annoying scientific papers that a high school dropout has no business reading. I have like 5 viewers who were like stuck with it. Laugh is one. There's a few others in chat who
Yo.
have stuck with it. And we go through it all and we crack it open, right? Like, how the hell does this thing run? We've had other people who have come on and helped us understand how it runs, and like actually running it instead of just using the thing. We try and actually start one from scratch. So we've done that. And yeah, these things I've gone on Sarah's panel and debated. This is why I'm going to toot my own horn here, and it's a no small effort to the help of people who have supported me, like Laugh as well. Tariak's been a huge supporter as well. TMX in chat, huge supporter. I've had lots of support from other people who have helped. Andrew Wilson has helped tailor some of these arguments. But if you put me on a debate panel about tech in general, especially about AI, I will absolutely eviscerate anyone within striking distance of me. I know this stuff inside and out better than anybody does. There is nobody who covers this stuff like I do, and
Bro,
it's.
you're already good at debating.
I don't know about that, but I'm good at this.
He's being okay, everyone. He's being a little humble. All right.
I just know how dumb I am.
I've seen
That's
this-
all.
I've seen
No,
this fuck
Spiro is not
debate.
humble.
What Spiro, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're a perfectionist. When you want to do something, you want to make sure that motherfucker
Yeah,
is
it's
stone cold.
yes, that's what that's why when I like, if I want to take on Jay Dyer about crypto, I want to spend several months and I want to know it inside and out, and then I will put up a fight with Jay Dyer. Even though I may like the guy, I will still fight him tooth and nail, and I will do so very, very well versed. So yes, Tariak, I like to know my stuff before I get into it.
100%.
So- This is a good place to call back to the actual topic at hand, because one of the knock-on effects of this awful assassination is Rob Noor actually brought it up on his stream earlier today. He said that he was gonna meet him or something. He was gonna do something with Charlie in the
Yes.
near future, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen other people saying this as well, that they never actually met him, even though they've worked with TP USA and stuff before, and they were really looking forward to meeting him later on in the year or something.
Yeah.
And Spiro had an interview lined up with him where he was going to talk about these exact subjects.
Yep.
But now he's not going to be able to do that, right? And
So-
we're not trying to make the issue about us or anything, but it's like a second order effect of this, right? It is actually damaging to the movement, to all of these various movements that are going on. move us away from the Marxism and the transisms and all of these kind of things, right?
Dude, I think I might have a plugin for within TPUSA. I might have a few. So the best thing about my Twitter is I do have TPUSA people, like big names that follow me on there. It's funny, they like my content, but they can't repost it because I say it in a pretty harsh words, as anyone that follows me knows. I like to say very delightful words with it. And they always like, Berto, man, if you can just tone down, I would gladly amp you up on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not gonna be authentic. But after my latest suspension, I will have to use Grok to tone myself down.
Yeah.
So if I look a little like soft, don't think it. I did not type that. I had Grok type it for me. All right, guys.
Yeah.
So from now on, that's what I'll be doing. So I gotta go against. I gotta be with TOS with Twitter now. Even though Twitter, you can say a lot of pretty crazy shit. I have too many suspensions, and my last besides this one, I was on 8-month suspension. So, and that's my
Fuck
main
it,
account,
bro.
2010, bro.
No.
And I can't lose that title. I don't want to look like a newbie.
No,
That's my
no,
fault.
it's yeah.
You know what
So-
the Loki part of me wants though? The Bacon's in Nashville. Nashville's open carry. So I hope Andrew goes on a rampage. Got to build up that hype for the event. You know what I'm saying?
He's gonna do it. He's not backing down. He's made that public
Yeah.
today. Yeah,
I
he's
know,
going
sure,
for it.
It's open carry.
And I told him I just hire me as his bodyguard. So as long as
Yeah.
I'm healed up, I can definitely protect him. I got nice Kevlar vest I can fucking wear for once. It's fucking badass, dude. Perfectly tailored to me. And yeah, I got new toys, that I bought a year ago. I've only out at the range. Man, I'm excited. I hope he calls me. And I'm like, and I texted Andrew yesterday. I'm like, hey man, I'm in Florida. Anytime you're here in the South, I got you. Just pay for my room and board and food. I'm not even asking for your money, bro.
Yeah.
So we cannot have Andrew go down. Cannot have any big prominent speakers go down. I even told Rachel, hey, I know Andrew's a hardhead, and if he doesn't have any protection, you better hit me up. And Rachel just laughed, and I'm like, all right, I'll think about it. I'm like, no, you need to. Like, I can protect Andrew. I'm smaller than him, but I'm a pretty good, pretty good on target. So, but I mean, I don't want to brag, but
I don't want
marksman.
to brag.
I
but I'll brag.
got marksman in the Air Force
Yeah.
and some pretty difficult weaponry. So
Yeah.
that's all I'll say.
Well,
I was picturing more like you kind of like when those like bomb squad uniforms just stand in front of Andrew at all times.
He's
Oh,
more,
man,
Cheeks is
that
more protected than Andrew. Imagine that. Yeah.
I know they're gonna be like, "Who's this little guy?" You know?
Yeah.
He's like, I think that's that little guy. He talks a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I even told Andrew, I don't even want to be on camera, dude. Like, I'm not even looking for that smoke. Keep me off camera.
Yeah.
I don't want to be known as that guy. Just keep me where I can, freaking help you out. That's it, man.
Yeah.
Put me in your like in the wake of where your head would be.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be. So, but
No,
we
it's-
can't we can't have any more takedowns of anybody.
Yeah.
in the
It's got to
fight.
stop. Yeah.
Because people on the prominent right, they are still debating this, and I'm very worried about that. I think everyone should. Everyone's more alarmed than ever. I definitely would suggest being indoor more than outdoor,
Yeah.
and I hope they listen. But oh man, Andrew's definitely playing a dangerous game because ever since he got on Piers Morgan, he got extremely amplified.
Oh yeah. He's mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he texted me immediately, like when that happened back in January. He's like, "Have you watched Piers Morgan lately?" I'm like, "Nah, I haven't watched him. He's kind of like too liberal." And then I watched it, and I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
I'm like, "That's my boy."
Yeah. He does great on there.
He does
Yeah.
great, man. He's very good at toning himself down. Lately, I was like, "Hey, man, where's your suit and tie at, bro?
Yeah.
What happened to that?"
Yeah.
Oh boy, no, he's been killing it, man, and I'm glad Pierce likes him. Pierce has been very, very good on moderation as well. I'm very surprised because he's very liberal in his stance on things, but he's been very moderate to the right when it comes to the alphabet community stuff. With the transgenders in sports and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
Bro, I wish he'd bring me on. Just like you saw my last debate, bro. 20 minutes is all it took, and that bitch rage quit.
that was so
Oh,
funny.
Yeah,
no,
that was great.
awesome, bro. I was like, I tuned in for this. Come on, man! I expected more of a fight.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're too good, baby. We're
yeah,
too good.
too
Yeah.
good.
I
Yeah.
was
Send
talking
that
to
bitch
Tia.
back to the kitchen. Okay, sorry, TOS. TOS, I
Yeah.
apologize. I apologize.
No,
Sorry,
we
go
were
ahead.
Joking,
someone-
guys. He's just joking.
Just joking. Just joking.
Spirit's got a long running joke where he's got everyone in chat's mum
In the
his
kitchen, making me
or
sandwiches all the time. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes they
nice,
talk to me
nice.
about how disappointed they are with you. And then, I have to like appease them by doing them special favors and, in exchange for sandwiches so that they feel less depressed about their failures of sons. Yeah, it's a long running joke. Yeah.
Remember that one guy
But
who came
feminists
in
don't
and
realize that, like, if they just like stop the feminism, like that joke would no longer be a joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then they could just be like, yeah, where else would I be?
Yeah.
And then you look like the idiot. You know
And
what
then
I'm
I look like the idiot. Yeah. They could prove us all wrong. Exactly.
you remember that one guy who came in and he rage quit your chat because he was like,
Yeah.
I could do without the offensive jokes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And then I wanted to, I wanted to say, well, that's fine. No one's holding. Well, I did say, I said, that's fine. No one's holding you here. And I should have said something like, would it be okay if I made jokes about like your dad, where I have him like chained up outside in the woods, cutting down
Nah.
trees and stuff? Like,
you should have said no one's holding you here, but I am holding your mum hostage.
I should have leaned in. You're right. Failed opportunity. Yeah.
Yo, that last debate was Speakeasy and Cooley again when it comes to sexism is good, bro. Speakeasy knocked it out of the ballpark immediately. Like the other soy boy and the other feminist chick, dude, they literally had nothing afterwards. I'm like, why am I watching this? This to the point where we're destroying them in debates, but it is still, they're still pushing on and harping, as if it's a bad thing. I'm like, dude, you guys are sexist too. You just don't realize it.
Yeah.
Feminism is sexist in itself.
You don't realize it.
Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
come on, guys.
That's
Well, that
Like,
was
this is not controversial.
that was the prompt for Terry Extreme, right? It was feminism is misogynistic or something like that, right?
yeah. Yeah. That's why I was going to go over this. I'm not going to do it now. We're going to chat for a little bit and then I'll end the stream.
Oh,
but
God, this.
But
Yeah.
I was going to read this. I'll save it.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
do a proper episode. It'll be Tech Bites episode 7. But it'll be dedicated to this.
Yeah, so everyone who's watching, definitely come back for this. I've read
Oh.
this paper. It's so bad, you're gonna laugh your ass off. It's
By
gonna
the
be
way, I
amazing.
already remember I touched on this earlier too about the feminism and coding.
Yeah.
With an AI. I already mentioned this. I didn't obviously get deep in it because I'm not familiar with the coding aspect like you guys are by 100-fold. But all I know is the most basics is with the feminism being encoded with AI right now. And like if no one was in a stream before, I have actually programmed Grok in my end only, and I can't because it's only on my end only. It's only gonna disavow feminism, but if someone else would have bring it up in any like Twitter, thread, they're gonna side with him, not over me, because it's what you call like a global feminist, coding in there that I'll have to debunk once again. But the thing is, when you're doing that on Twitter, I don't have time to go over the 6 prompts that I had to use. I'm not gonna. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but this is gonna be good. I'm definitely gonna be tuning in for this.
Yeah, it's gonna be a highlight portion because I've been saving up for this for like weeks now.
By the way,
And-
Spyro, I made you and Terac my mods on Rumble.
Okay,
Since that's
good
my
to
main
know.
Platform.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Good to know.
So
Good to
yeah.
know.
Alright.
So yeah, by the way, I'll be finally up and running on Rumble again now that I'm broke. $1 donations are great for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that'll be good. But I know I have the Crucible. They have my back, so they always tune in and talk mad shit, and I love
Mhm.
it, dude.
Same.
So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Mine is not as everyone that's tune in on Spyro stuff. I'm not a nerd tech, like these guys are. These guys know 10 folds over I do. I usually talk about societal aspects, especially a lot of innocent men being blamed on a lot of shit they don't. Because I consider myself an MRA advocate, not so much an MRA person in itself, because I'm not part of any group like that.
Yeah.
But I speak to a lot of them. And I'm glad Spyro showed me this shit and got me thinking even harder on AI, how dangerous it could be on false accusations. And women, if they, oh man, I don't even want to, implement this in a woman's head, that they can actually use this to, destroy men's lives.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna shut up about that.
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen examples of that, right? Where remember there was that was it on the Facebook one, Spiro, and there was a girl posting nudie videos of herself and saying, "Turn it into anime" or something like that.
Uh,
You know, because she's obviously trying to get someone's attention.
oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that that is exactly what she did. Yeah. And, well, she kind of got what she asked for, and then she kind of used it as well in a bad way, if I remember, where she then blamed, ah, man, I don't remember the exact details. That one might have been a while ago, but
There's a
it,
woman that used AI as malicious intent. I'm assuming.
yeah, on men essentially. Yeah. And, anyways, it's been done before, and let's put it this way. Okay, how about this? There was several cases. One of them I got in ahead of about 2 weeks. I literally said this. That's why I do the streaming, because I want to have it on record that I'm not making it up. 2 weeks before Grok leaked their public chats on Grok, on the AI system Grok, I discovered that their chats were public because Meta AI and ChatGPT AI also had the same problem. And it was discovered that their chats were also public. And so when it first came out that it started with Meta, then it went to ChatGPT, we went through, Lap and I were going through all of the chats that were public, and we were like screen recording it, screenshotting it, all of that stuff. And people were pouring their hearts out to these things. And then I got onto Grok as well before people knew that was going to be a thing. And I told people 2 weeks ahead of time, your chats on Grok are also open. If you don't believe me, I have the video evidence. I still do, timestamped and everything. And a lot of the stuff that I saw, or that we saw, were people who were carrying on affairs. And they were asking the AI systems, like, can my wife see this? How do I hide this from my wife? Et cetera, et cetera. Now, imagine that, somebody got a hold of that, regardless of who they are, I suppose, but you could easily make a case for, like, imagine if one of these women who has a habit of throwing men under the bus, because that's what she likes to do, utilizes one of these systems to her advantage. It would be really, really easy. And that's just the stuff that gets leaked. That's not including people who use these AI systems to create fake documents, especially the more that the AI system knows about your banking habits, your online habits, your spending habits, I don't know, your where you went, for vacations, stuff you've poured your heart out for, and somebody comes along and they can jailbreak an AI system and they can use all this stuff against you. They can create fake phishing documents, which is just fake documents, fake PDFs, fake statements. They can pressure you. They can blackmail you. We've covered blackmail cases. There was a young girl in, I think, Thailand, who was in high school, and AI generated images of her were being used. She was then pressured to go out of school because they take it seriously over there when it comes to like kids and that kind of a thing. She couldn't even stay in school. Kids were making fun of her. Like, imagine how these things could be wielded against you. You don't think that the people behind this know it? Of course they do. And what they've done is they've sold all of the programmers who have built this thing that it's also good, because what better way to make it ubiquitous and get you to feel safe and comfy when you have the creators of the thing and the programmers of the thing telling you that it's the best thing since sliced bread. You should all use it and it's super safe.
Well, that goes back to the thing that I said earlier, right? Where they just throwing this stuff out and encouraging everyone to use it, market hype, with no oversight. Right, because they're just trying to. Well, I think what you and I would probably argue is they want like the technocratic society thing. Like they've like if anyone wants to know what the tech industry is actually like, right, and you're not a nerdy geek like us, go and watch Silicon Valley by Mike Judge. Right, there's a HBO series.
Oh,
It's
yeah, I watched that.
exactly like that. right? It's all these. Each startup is like its own little cult, and some of those are part of a greater cult depending on the type of technology they're implementing. Like this AI stuff it's insane. Like I don't understand how all these investors have duped themselves into pouring money into it because they're not going to get it back. There's like there's no path to profitability for any of these companies. They
Yeah,
they
dude.
they they've
Imagine
got
if they
no
made that
business
show.
plan.
Imagine if they made that show with AI now. That would be an interesting take with Silicon
Dude,
Valley.
I rewatched it recently. They nailed it.
Yeah.
All the things that we're talking about happen in the show, and at the end, the arsehole, all the characters in it are arseholes. They're funny
Yeah, I'd say
arseholes.
that
But
that's going to continue for another like about 6 years or so,
yeah,
Yeah.
but
and then the
they
stock
decide
market
to,
is going to collapse.
yeah,
But I
they decide
mean,
to pull the
fucking
plug on it in
recession
the
on it.
show, but like in real life, yeah, you're right. It's gonna it
Yeah.
collapsing on itself. That's
Let me ask you
Yeah,
before.
there's still a bit of years left, like 2030, 2032-ish.
Let
yeah,
me
but
ask you. I want to ask you a serious question with you guys. It's in regards to financing. Has AI actually, manipulated the market by any chance? Actually, already
sorry, you cut
embedded
out there.
with is AI actually embedded in the Wall Street yet? I'm not familiar with that aspect. If I don't know if you guys are.
Should I be nerdy?
Probably not.
Should I be nerdy and go into it? Because it has, just not in the way you think it has.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
you can try and like
What?
TLDR it if you can.
Sure. Okay. So there's a thing called the Magnificent Seven. They are part of the S&P 500. The companies that are involved in that are NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Facebook, which is Meta,
The
Amazon.
biggest ones, of course.
Yeah, the biggest guys, right? Now, NVIDIA makes up almost 20% of it. That's weight. So weight is not always just in terms of pure raw dollars. Sometimes that's just the weight of potential shares, valuations, liquid versus non-liquid assets, stuff like that, right? So weight means the amount of carry power that a company has against the particular stock market. So NVIDIA is about 20% of the S&P, and then the S&P is about, as a whole, it's about 8% of the entire S&P, I believe, the entire U.S. stock market, something like that. So it's like NVIDIA itself holds about 20% of 8% of the entire U.S. stock market. It is the biggest, if I remember correctly, it's the biggest weighted company in the entirety of the U.S. stock market right now, which means that if it were to go under tomorrow, it wouldn't necessarily be a collapse of the stock market, but it would mean that a lot of people would lose their savings, college funds, etc., overnight. And the reason why NVIDIA holds so much is because every other company in the Magnificent Seven props them up by just passing the buck around. They just invest in each other. So they just take investor money and then they just pass it on to the next person. They come up with some deal for a data center or power center or purchasing hardware from NVIDIA or whatever. But NVIDIA gets to keep all the sweet dollars because where do you go to for all your AI hardware? NVIDIA. So as long as NVIDIA keeps pumping out AI hardware, they're the ones who are actually pulling in all the money. So we're already in a precarious position in the stock market where AI, the meta AI, is already, manipulating the stock market as it is.
Damn, that is so crazy. So even ATI is behind them, not even close to them. Then, damn, I missed out. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then you've got like the actual chip manufacturing companies as well, because like Nvidia will go and pay them, so they're making money too. even though they're
Oh,
not
that's
directly.
true.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is so true. I didn't even think about that.
yeah. And
Holy
then
shit.
there's a third order consequence there of the rare earth miners, like they're getting loads of money. So like China are doing a lot of that, right?
Yeah. Fuck.
North
China likes
Korea
to
has
embed themselves with as much as they can within the U.S. too.
Yeah, North Korea
crazy.
has a crap ton of like minerals. That I'm not sure if they're actually extracting it or not, but they're like a big potential breadwinner here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. Hey, man, I appreciate you inviting or having me on, man. I'm definitely gonna have you on my stuff. Remember, my shit's not gonna be as tech savvy.
No, it's
But
all
I
good,
know,
man.
I know,
Yeah.
I know you can carry a. You're my boy.
Sorry, just
You're not
Spar,
a-
real
you're not a
quick.
dummy.
Do you mind? Do you mind if you pull up just a video real quick? It's only like 3 minutes long,
Sure.
but it's a
Alright.
conversation between like a boomer and like the Gen Z about the Charlie Kirk thing.
Sure,
And
sure.
like I
Yeah.
said, like that's literally the like what words do you say to these people? It's literally like a video representation of this.
Yeah. On that note, whilst you're pulling that up, Abe left a really good message in the chat. He said, "If anything, should we not honor Charlie by carrying on the same vein that he did?"
Yeah.
And
Oh
I
man,
agree
I
with
would,
that.
We
I would
should, yeah,
love
but
to. I would. I don't see why not. You know, everyone knows. If you guys see in my Twitter thread, me and Charlie actually went at it on one thread months ago when I called out TPUSA on having hookers and prostitutes as ministers. You know, now that's one of the biggest disagreements I have. But never did I say anything bad about them. You know, just everyone always gonna have disagreements, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But no way in hell would I anyone on the right, even if people that disagreed with him, would ever wish this upon. This is the worst thing that ever
Well-
happened, and he's like the nicest guy, and the left ruined it.
Well, I just think we have to be a little bit careful because some people are just like, they're so pissed off with this stuff now that they're probably just going to take the stance that I'm just not going to talk to these people at all.
I don't negotiate with terrorists. That's what my
Well,
stance.
there's that aspect, right? But not all of them are actual terrorists at the same. Some of them are just indoctrinated. They're just like useful idiots. Do you know what I
Bro,
mean?
you know who just
Well,
started
please,
following me?
please,
On,
please play the video.
oh yeah, go ahead with this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Because it's I know I'm not trying to be like Riverdale, but it literally is. It's like I genuinely think this is the only way that like I can get the point across and what I'm saying. Because like a lot of people
Okay.
say, it's like, no, there's still a chance, all this kind of stuff. This is
No,
literally
I
dad and
just
daughter.
wanted to bring up his message because it's been sitting there for ages, but we've been talking.
Oh shit! Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll add too that I did, I did want to say, I'll repeat it again, that I do know that there are people who do watch me, and they would consider themselves on what would be considered the sane left, such as it is today. And they were quite outspoken to me, at least from what I experienced. And they're like, yeah, man, this was bad. Like, I don't want this, It gives even the ones who would normally be defenders of that position, it gives them a bad name, right? It undoes their work, and it makes it that much harder to listen to them, etc. Right? So, it's an unfortunate side
Yeah, I'm
effect as
talking about
well.
communists.
Sure.
I'm talking about like
Yeah.
communist left,
Yeah.
not
They-
liberals.
yes.
Like, or what would have been liberals like 20 or 10, 20 years ago.
Correct. Right. Correct. Okay, let's play this video. Okay. I'm going to check the levels real quick. 1 second.
He deserves to be.
Okay. Let me do this. I'm going to turn it up just a touch. Okay, let's try this again.
Okay.
He deserves to be because he said that if his daughter got raped, she would have to go through with the pregnancy. So I don't care that he got shot.
So if it's okay.
If you said something deplorable like that, then yeah, someone would probably shoot you.
Oh, this woman.
Oh, crap.
If he openly is okay
Uh,
with his daughter going through with the pregnancy, if she was, then I don't care that he got shot. Exactly, it doesn't affect me, so I don't care. Because that's a disgusting thing for him to say. So if he were to say something like that, it's literally like, it makes perfect sense that he got, because he's a terrible, disgusting human being. Like, you can't just go around saying terrible, disgusting things and no, not because you can like go to jail for some things you can say. So I guess there's not freedom of speech in some terms. That you're gonna like fight someone or hurt someone or make a threat, like that's not freedom of speech. some, according to the people that were on the opposite of Lincoln's side, they thought that he was saying deplorable and disgusting things, so that's why he got shot. If you say horrible and disgusting things to some people, they're gonna take that and they're gonna do something about it. Like, I just can't feel bad for someone like him. I just can't. At all.
So if someone doesn't agree with someone else and they say something horrible, they deserve to be shot.
If I don't think you understand how bad Charlie Kirk is as a human being. Like, he doesn't just say things that hurts people's feelings. He says things that are genuinely damaging to people and to his family, and like saying that he would be okay. Like, I just genuinely can't get over the fact that he would be okay with his child daughter going through a pregnancy if she got raped. Like, I just can't. So I don't care. Because if he would put that on his daughter, then I don't care what anyone puts on him. I just don't care. He's a bad person. He's done more than horrible things than just that. I can't name all of them off the top of my head, but I just genuinely do not care about him. And it doesn't affect me personally that he said that about his
Vile.
daughter, but it affects
Just
how people
vile.
who look up to him will see the world and be like, oh, okay, so if he thinks that's okay, then I guess it's okay. So no, I don't care that he got shot. I don't think people like that should be on this earth, honestly.
There's a lot of people that think that people that have nose piercings shouldn't be on this planet. Should you be shot?
That's not even in comparison to at all what I'm saying right now. Like, at all.
I don't think anybody deserves to be shot.
Okay, that's your opinion. Well, I mean, Dad, you brought it up. You said, did you hear Charlie Kirk got shot? I genuinely do not care about that man. I hate him. He's a terrible person.
Nobody deserves to be shot.
Ah, that's such a lie. Well, then don't ask me questions that you know I'm not gonna.
Ask you a question.
Well, you.
Question, who was shot? I didn't think you would respond like an absolute awful response. I thought you were more civil than that. That's super disappointing.
Okay.
I really did not think that would say.
Okay. Okay.
I cannot think of anyone that your mother or anybody would say that that's a good thing.
Okay.
Bro, fuck her.
Dude, you see the mental gymnastics going on in her head right there?
Yeah.
Like when he
Good.
said, like, when he said he was disappointed, her face just changed, man.
Yeah.
And
Dude.
she was grinning. You could see the gears grinding to a halt in her head.
There's something wrong with it. You know what? I kind of fault that on the father. He's clearly in her life, but he clearly has a weak backbone. Otherwise,
I was
she would
thinking
not
that.
be this. She would not be this vile and disgusting. Like, let's be real. You gotta blame the parents for this fault. Like, my kids, they're not gonna have no damn tongue or nose piercings like this. They're gonna be,
They're not going to
feminine,
have the
nice girls.
rainbow things in the background. There was
Hell
loads
no,
of them.
dude.
Boys. Now that would be, as the gamers would say, an unwinnable position. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, that's basic.
Boys, I think there's a path. But it's not going to be pretty. Either way, we're going down that train where it's like National Socialism, and then people are getting put in trains, etc., etc. TOS is a bitch, but like I said, it's savable, it's winnable. Even in that context, there, like the whole aspect, it was like, well, you have your opinion, I have my opinion, and then even in Charlie Kirk's perspective, if they knew the argument, they would say, well, Charlie's coming at the perspective of the child.
Right.
Why should the child be punished? And then, do you know what I mean? And you can go down that avenue, but people don't have the philosophy. People don't have the debate. That's why ancient Greece potentially is on the cards, gentlemen. That's right.
Well-
If we manage to avoid the trains, okay?
I'll
if we
do
can,
fine.
If we can, we can actually guide this back to the Greco-Persian Empire, baby, and that would be a beautiful time.
Bodes well
Like I
for
said, I
me.
always like to end in a high note.
Well, this goes back to what Cheeks was saying, is that what Charlie was doing was basically the father's job,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
like the solution in this case, right? The way to achieve victory is by the father disciplining the girl in the video, right?
Yeah.
Now she looks like she's of at some kind of adult age in the thing, so I don't know how that would play out. So you could say that he has failed, right? But like that's on him, really.
100%. I honestly can't even blame her for her ideology. She was obviously indoctrinated. He never challenged her when she was young. You got to be a good parent for someone that doesn't have a father in their life, aka me, and a fucking high school dropout, yeah, I win that Olympics. Get fucked, Spyro. No, but no, but no, and in seriousness though, like it took me a long time to get out of that brainwash myself. I was liberal, but not this kind of crazy liberal back in my.
Yeah.
I
But
have a
like,
fix for
I
that
grew
as
up in
well.
I got out of the, my fatherless, victim blaming game back in it. It took me a while, and it took a lot of trials and tribulations. And I knew that I was feminized because I was raised by my mother, right? And it just took a lot of strong masculine presence from my friends who had good families, and they didn't have any stupid piercings and stuff like that. Even back then with liberals, they were never this crazy. But I'm glad I never went down this path, and I noticed that it's all how the parents bring up their children. Lack of discipline, lack of saying no when things are going wrong. They don't know proper discipline. That's how you have these TikTokers, talking mad shit. You can tell they've been entitled, never been disciplined, or even punched in the face. Like my face is fucked up from being in fights. Be honest here. I didn't win all my fights, but I deservedly got my ass whooped when I started them. Let's just put it that way. That's what a lot of these kids are not aware about.
But low key, but the best piece of my advice to men is like, act like a father, even if you're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you have that mentality, like that's the mentality to go with. And then, like I said, the layer onto it. Oh fuck, I forgot. Yeah.
You fucking Irish idiot.
Yeah, I was gonna end on so much like spice there. I had so much meat to the bone.
Yeah, I swear I had an epic ending. Yeah, I swear.
Yeah.
You fucked it up,
bros.
dude.
I lost
You
it.
fucked it up.
Leprechaun brain.
Elver
Completely.
Elver
Yeah, what can I
Teriak,
say?
everybody.
What can I say? What can I
L
say?
this man. Boo this man. Hey, this was a
Yeah, no,
good
sorry.
stream, bro.
Acting like a father, because like realistically, like that's basically like what we've been missing in society. That's been the whole aspect, this degradation of the father figure. Like we need to like young men being able to act like men as fathers. Do you know what I mean? And if you carry yourself like that way, it'll become that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I see someone in the chat, in the Twitch chat, saying you think fathers aren't at work. Okay, I do have to agree with that, but where's the mother? But the thing is, it's still a father's responsibility to, get in their daughter's life to make sure they're not being indoctrinated with this shit. So I can't, it sucks that that's a father's duty to maintain the family, whether he's with the mother or not, or maybe if they're separated, that's even worse, because the mother is gonna be saying a whole bunch of vitriol against the father, right? That's what single mothers usually do, and that's really tough, man. But still, the father needs to be in his daughter's life to make sure this kind of shit doesn't happen. So, like I said, it's like what is it called? What are those like same side of the same coin or some shit like that? How's it termed?
Different sides
whatever,
of the
but-
same coin.
Yeah,
two
sides of
two sides,
yeah,
same
something
coin.
like that. Yeah, sorry, American is my second language, guys.
Okay.
So
Alright.
cut me some slack.
Okay.
But
sure.
yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
But anyways, good stream, Spyro. Thanks for letting me on, man.
Yeah.
Teriak, always nice to meet you, Dale. You've been
100%, baby.
You guys are way too smart for me on these streams, but I'm always learning. So
Aren't we
and
all?
I'll definitely be
Yes.
inviting you guys on my stuff too. My I don't do open panels. I like to do solo shows mainly. So,
Cool.
but I usually love having some people on whenever I have a good topic. I always have a nice laid out topic, just like you do, Spyro.
Yeah.
Your shit is way better than mine.
I
My shit
don't
is
know.
like goes off tangent sometimes.
Yeah, it
but,
happens.
But I always stick to. But I like to stick on topics. I need to learn how to do that better, like you.
Oh shit! I remember the boys. I fucking know I was gonna remember.
Oh,
The reason why
This
when you're raising
fucking
kids, because
guy.
you were talking about kids. No, because you were fucking ranting for 5 minutes, cheeks. I called you out as soon as you fucking joined the show as well. So don't give me that shit, okay? Right? So because I almost
Don't
forgot
play
it
me,
again.
bitch.
Right? Yeah. So like the perfect way to raise kids, like low key, like when you're raising a kid before the knowledge, you got to be like a tyrant. But then after that,
Yeah.
it's like you got to be able to like almost take a bullet for them kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's like
Patriarch,
in
you
terms of
gotta
like
be a
that
patriarch.
aspect.
Yeah.
That's why you have the Bible in terms of God being like basically a tyrant figure, and then you have him like on the cross. That's the main dynamic to the Bible, and that's what like Charlie Kirk's message was. And they tried to destroy that. Ain't happening, boys. You just created 1 million of us.
Yeah, man. When I have kids, I'm gonna be very much into their lives. I can't have that woke shit indoctrination in my house. So, anyways, thanks for letting me on, guys.
Yeah,
Time for me to take my bitches out. They're barking in the background, so I gotta take them out.
The literal ones. The literal
You got
ones.
no, he's
My
got
bitch,
mums
my
in his
dog.
kitchen too.
Jeez.
Oh man. No, none of that.
Uh,
Can be clipped out
Anyways.
of context.
Uh,
Alright, misogyny, he was calling women dogs.
yeah,
Oh, God. Anyways, I'll see you, man. I'll be
Okay.
tuning in more. Obviously, I'll be moderating your shit because too.
yeah. I appreciate it, man.
I
Yeah.
love moderating on Rumble.
I
Anyways,
appreciate
take
it.
it easy. Good stream.
Thank you, thank you,
Say it is, bro.
Cheeks. Yeah, it was good. I'm glad. Yeah, Cheeks and I go way back. He's a good dude. He's had a rough go of it for a few reasons too, but yeah, it's been good.
Yeah,
He's
Um,
one of those guys that you know about without meeting him though, because he sends in the dono chats all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, he's good that way.
Easy G.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. It seems like maybe I've lost Delaney as a friend, which that's fine. If Delaney wants to stick his head in the sand and ignore problems, that's fine by me. I don't know what he meant by that, but I've probably lost a lot of people today. But frankly, I just don't give a shit. The time for being nice and just sticking your head in the sand and not calling this stuff out and thinking that the only thing that you can do is build stuff and that's how you win this war, this quote unquote war, right? Which it's not a true war, but it's a type of war. It's a battle. I just don't agree with it.
Well,
I do like what Delaney's doing, and I hope that I haven't lost him, but it sounds like I have, and that's fine. It's
well, I mean, like he should come on sometime and talk about it, like, or he can talk to you in private about it.
he's
Like,
welcome to anytime.
That's the solution, dude. Don't
Yeah.
just
He's-
nope out.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like if he doesn't care for this kind of stuff, that's fine. That's it. He doesn't have to, but I most certainly do, and I'm not going to tailor my message around who is and who isn't friends with me because of it. And I will still, I still have to admit that Delaney did create some good tech.
He did.
I will still shout that out. And because it is solid, I have used it now, and it's not what I thought it was. It's still solid, so he still gets that from me because I don't have anything against the guy, but I do have something to say about this, and I think it's quite dangerous, and I think the time for being quiet about it or just ignoring it or whatever, it's gone, it's over, that's it. So anyway, okay,
Well, I mean, we sort of crossed multiple thresholds with your stream.
Yeah.
In the past year, because we've been talking about this stuff behind the scenes for a long time.
Yeah.
And at first, we weren't discussing it at all on the stream or
Yeah.
in the chat or anything like that. And then just got to a point where we're like, we've got so much stuff that we've discussed, and like I debated with you whether you should go public with certain things.
well, cat's out of the bag now, isn't it? As of it was out of the bag several times, just a little bit, but it's really out of the bag now.
Yeah.
I will shout out Rob and Andrew who have been like encouraging of me to do this a bit, more, especially Rob lately. He's been really solid. He and I have talked behind the scenes. I'm helping him out. He helps me out. It's been good, but it's really, really serious. And I don't want to grow up in this society. I certainly don't want our children to grow up in this society. I don't want people like Charlie to get hurt like this. It would just be better if it would really feel good if there was some hope that things would chill out just a little bit and we could have some more reasoned discussions, and I wouldn't have to be so inflammatory about what I talk about, and other people like Tariak and whatever, anybody else, Rob included. I'm sure Rob's going to have a lot to say tonight. It would be nice if we didn't have to speak the way we do in order to counter the way that we're spoken to and the way that these things play out. It would sure be nice to live in that world. Do I think we could still get there? I think it's possible, but it's not looking good right now.
Nope.
Not looking
like
good.
I said, folks, we're on a train.
Yep.
That's all I'll say. We're on a train.
Yeah, something has left the station.
Yep.
Okay.
But like I said, it's winnable. It's
It
winnable.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just a matter of how. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's eating your potatoes.
I'm eating your taters. I've got the taters all
He's
up in my
picking
mouth.
my potato up off the table. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
He's picking up the potato and putting down.
Sure am. I sure am, my fellow leprechaun. Listen, Tariak, thank you for sharing your taters.
Thank you very much. And just one question before I go.
Yeah.
Do you know what an
No.
Irish goodbye is?
No.
Every time.
Every time.
Every damn time.
I was gonna ask him to shout his channel out. He didn't get the chance. Tariak, drop some links in chat.
I did it earlier on Twitch. So
Did
I'll see
you?
if I can do
Okay.
it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you drop some links in chat, Tariak. Go check him out. He's awesome. He tackles the stuff that I don't normally tackle. He'll go and talk about social issues and stuff. So he takes a different perspective. And I mostly do the technical stuff here. Yeah. And Laugh, as always, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
There's Cheeks' channel
There's
as
Cheeks, perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
well. Yeah, you're welcome, dude. I'll speak to you later anyway.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, I'm gonna let Laugh go. I'm gonna do the last few minutes here. Okay, thanks,
All right.
Laugh. Appreciate it. Let's change over here. Okay, so that's it, folks. Consider if you like the stream and you like what I'm talking about and you think I need to be talking about it more, consider here, I'll tell you what, I'll put on where'd it go? I'll put on the goal just for now. The tip goal, consider financial contributions. I think there was a sub earlier on Twitch, which I'll put in the $5 over there. I appreciate that. I'm looking for work. I have a few bits and pieces here, which I'm grateful for. It's not quite enough, so any additional support would be very welcome. I would appreciate it greatly. In the meantime, I'm trying to do streams like this and present information. I'm trying to build stuff that's entertaining for you guys, build a few video games, build some websites, etc. Try out some cool new tech like Delaney's Data Star, stuff like that. Just to talk about some of the things that we can do in the tech space. We actually have a lot more options than we think we do to turn this ship around. It's just sad when you see people who operate in this space being so happy that somebody's life was taken, and I'm just frankly sick of it. So I wanted to use this stream to bring attention to that. I will be back tomorrow. Thanks, Pepito. Yeah, thanks for that. There was somebody, by the way, I don't know who this person is. I don't know who you are in chat. You might even be watching right now. I don't know. I should update the goal. But somebody a few days ago sent a $500 donation through Streamlabs, through the tip link. And I don't know who they are, so I cannot properly give them a proper shout out and thank them. Thank you, whoever you are. That's really, really awesome. I meant to say this yesterday, but of course, things got weird yesterday. So I'm saying it right now. Whoever it is that sent me that $500 donation, thank you. So I'll update the goal. I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do Tech Bites episode 7. I'll go over the feminist programming language paper. We'll go over a few other things. Maybe you guys want me to go over some stuff. I'll show it all on screen. And we'll cover some topics, and we'll just keep at it. And I will do my best to bring attention to these topics, and I will also continue to do my best to show you guys that there are alternatives, and that the alternatives are good. They're within reach, but it's going to take people like you who are watching me right now to be as informed as possible. Go and talk about it with your colleagues and your friends and your family members. The way that the tech works. Thank you, whoever just sent. There we go, $25. Damn, 25, and there we go. The tip goal went up. Pepito, sir, thank you for the $25. I really appreciate that. I think maybe you left a message. Let me make sure that I get that correctly. I appreciate that a lot. Listen, if you guys can't, thanks for the show. Yeah, man, anytime. If you guys can't part with your dollars, which I realize it's a difficult thing to do. A lot of people are out of work. How about this? Just if you want to consider me for work, if you want to refer me to potential work, working on front end, back end, full stack, whatever it is, I'm not afraid to roll up my sleeves, continue the streams, and put in the elbow grease to help out people with all kinds of programming tasks. I'll take it. So if you're at least willing to do that, even that would be worth a lot. It would be worth its weight in gold, honestly. So just another way that you can help out. Or if you think that I should go on somebody's stream, do an interview, you can speak on my behalf if you want and say like, hey, Spiro will come on and talk about this or whatever. That helps get more attention, which opens up more opportunities. There are different ways that you guys can support me. That's kind of free. That's more than just money, but the money is massively helpful. Like, honestly, it is. I really do appreciate that. So thank you, Pepito. And thank you, whoever the anonymous person is who sent in the 500 just a few days ago, maybe like 5 days ago. I really appreciate it. No message or anything, just $500. It's insane. So that's huge. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Okay, so that's it. Guys, there is hope. There is indeed hope. Like I said yesterday, take some time and go talk to somebody you love today, or a friend, or just go out and just do something different. That's the ultimate weapon that we have. The weapon being that we have people we can connect with, so that we can remember that there are human beings around us that we care about, or that we should care about, at least to help you remember that. That defeats all of the stupid stuff I talk about with tech. That defeats everything that happened yesterday. It defeats it all. So please remember that there's like a real world out there, and you should go and talk to people out in the real world and try and make friends, and make sure you tell somebody that you love them today. Hugs, all that stuff. It sounds cheesy and corny, but I genuinely think it's really, really important. Make sure you do that. Okay. And when it comes to all this tech stuff, I'll be back at it tomorrow. We'll talk about a bunch of different topics, and I'll try and present some positive news. I have some positive stuff lined up, so I'll try and cover that just so it's not all doom and gloom tomorrow. I'm sure we could use a break from all of that. And one more time, I appreciate all the support. You guys are freaking awesome. All right. I appreciate all of you. Every single one of you I appreciate. All right. Okay, that's it for me. I'll talk to you guys offline. I'm on Discord in case anybody wants to reach out to me or DM me or whatever. And we'll catch you guys later. Have a good day or good night or whatever, wherever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I botched that up. Stay safe, would ya? Peace. By the way, did you guys think that you were going to escape this today? No, today of all days, you're not escaping this. There is no escaping this. All right? 3D Code Warrior, you suck. Laugh, you suck. Here's your music, okay? Here's your typical music. Restream Bot, you suck. Beating Cheeks, you suck. Mist, you suck. Alpha Beta, you suck. Pepito, you don't suck today. Thank you, Pepito. I appreciate it. TMX, you suck. Let's see who else sucks. Heartbender, you're new. Heartbender, you're new on the green side, so you get a pass today. All right. Beaten Cheeks, you suck twice, just because I feel like it. All right, just because I feel like it. Let's see who else sucks here. Tariak, you suck like 3 times today. All right. Let's see who else sucks. We got Live Joiner, you suck. I think I already said Restream Bot sucks. Ghost Magic, you suck. I'll give a pass to Delaney. I'm not sure if what's up with Delaney, but he'll get a pass today. Right? Delaney doesn't suck. He gets a pass. Purecoin, you suck. Although you probably went to bed. That's probably why you suck. Let's see who else. Abe. Okay, Abe doesn't suck today. I kind of feel bad for Abe. Abe's kind of feeling a little bit low. My Tech, you suck. Okay, La Spooky, you suck. Josh doesn't suck. Josh comes on all the time. He gives me the cheers thing. It's great. Gene, you suck. Who else sucks here? Come on. We already got La Spooky. Crispy Rothschild, you suck. Laughing Panda, you suck. We got Ghost already. Who else sucks? BYK, you suck. That's the extent. It doesn't let me go any farther up. I can't go any farther up, damn it. That's it. So that's it. If I missed anybody, you suck too. Okay? I just scrolled down to the bottom. You thought you were going to escape. DDaver, you suck. And com.b, you suck. All right. Good day. Good night, everybody. Peace out.